New Jersey. Am I right? Yeah.
Live feed on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
It seems to run on some form of electricity.
Well, you're not wrong.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together.
Now, here's your host.
He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Josh Hennig.
Hanging with Hennig is live on 97.3 ESPN FM, 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City. And as always, we are streaming live on YouTube and X. Josh Hennig alongside Alex Berardis between the 97.3 ESPN studios. We got a busy show coming up for you today here on 97.3 ESPN. Alex, welcome in on this, I don't remember which microphone you're on. There we go. On this pre-snowy, what are we calling this? Everyone keeps acting like this snowstorm is like the end of the world, but every forecast I see it's not. So I'm a little confused about that. How you doing?
Today's a bit of my flu game, battling, but I'm here in studio looking to have a great time, and I need a Birds win tomorrow. I don't care how it comes, honestly, at this point.
I think everybody needs it. We're going to get into some of the reasons why they've been losing these games and what they can do to rectify the situation coming up here on Hanging with Hennig. We got to get some Phillies talk as well. So I got Frank Klose coming on in about 25 minutes from now, because when the Kyle Schwarber, I don't know how it was for you, Alex, when the Kyle Schwarber news came down, I was a little surprised because historically this team, they wait till like January and February to get anything done. So for me, I was like, wow, it's December and we got a deal done. I was shocked. Now, they haven't done anything since, but we'll get into all that with Frank Klose coming up in 25 minutes. As I mentioned, we are going to get into more about the Philadelphia Eagles. Of course, tomorrow, Merrill Reese, Mike Quick calling all the action. Here you're home for Eagles football in South Jersey, 97.3 ESPN. Tomorrow's going to be a busy day. Billy Schwein in the locker room from 10 a.m. to noon, live from La Scala's and Brigantine. And then we'll have the Eagles game right on after that. Also coming up, Andy McNamara will join us for a deeper look at the quarterback position, because fantasy football playoffs are here. And let's be realistic. Most people have a quarterback who stinks on their fantasy team, because this year, quarterback play has been arguably one of the most unreliable things in all of football.
How about Kyle Pitts, though, on Thursday night? How many owners do you think benched Kyle Pitts thinking it's just going to be an average Kyle Pitts week and then 40-plus points?
So I'm not going to go too deep into this, but I will just say this before we get to anything else, because you mentioned Kyle Pitts. So I'm in 3 fantasy football leagues. Okay, just to kind of give the folks context. In one of the 3 leagues, I didn't make the playoffs. I was basically just the unluckiest guy in the world. It happens. Fantasy football, it's like roulette. It's like you in our league. You started out like incredibly cold, then you got blazing hot. So it just happens sometimes. That's what happened in this league. I was the opposite. I got hot and then fizzled way off.
Some would say like the Philadelphia Eagles.
Right, exactly. Me and Nick Sirianni need to have a conversation. But maybe we need to plant some flowers at this point.
Get a positivity rabbit.
Please. Someone needs to shoot that thing.
Well, sounds like it's already out of the locker room.
Yeah, I hope it would be. I mean, I haven't seen any new pictures of it, thank the Lord. But so in the fantasy football league I'm in, and folks, you know what? Let's make this a question of the day. All right? 609-403-0973, along with your thoughts on the Eagles game tomorrow. Can they end the 3-game losing streak? Your thoughts on the Phillies resigning Kyle Schwarber. Of course, we have Army-Navy coming up at 3 p.m. here on 97.3 ESPN. And I'm going to put this out on Twitter as well at some point, at Josh Hennig, at 973 ESPN. But I'm going to first ask you, Alex, the question, okay? So you can join in like everybody else. Because I feel like when I ask this question, you are going to have an opinion.
Okay.
So in the one league I'm in, I didn't make the postseason. The guy who has the number 1 seed in the fantasy league, in that league, on Friday morning decides to post a paragraph in the group chat, basically pontificating about how I told you Kyle Pitts was a good trade piece. None of you wanted him. And he just starts going this whole thing about how, like, you all made fun of me, da-da-da-da-da. And I said, because I couldn't, the group chat was getting ridiculous, because he's trying to make it like Kyle Pitts has one great game, and that was the reason why we all should have, like, dropped our pants to trade for him during the season. Him and Woody Marks, the running back for the Texans. And I couldn't take it anymore. And I literally said in the group chat, I was like, dude, stop stroking your ego. I was like, Kyle Pitts had basically 50 to 60 yards per game the first 12 games of the year. And all of a sudden has two really good, one great game and one good game. And you're acting like we all are stupid because we didn't trade for him. So my question is, where is the line when it comes to fantasy football trash talk? Like, there's one thing to say, like, hey, I beat you, I took you down, you made a bad move, you know, whatever, right? But I feel like there's a line where it's like, don't go into the group chat looking for affirmation.
Yeah, like...
You follow what I'm saying here?
Yeah, no, I feel like in that case, like, a paragraph is crazy to me. To me, it should have just been like, told you guys about Kyle Pitts, and then leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had a game once in one of my leagues earlier this year. I won by 0.01. Like, couldn't have been closer. And I just texted in our group chat. I was like, how about that 0.1? Like, you throw the jab out, but you're not throwing body blow after body blow. You throw the message, get some chuckles out of the boys, and then, all right, leave it at that. And then if someone wants to retaliate, then it's like, all right, now we can go. But I was just making a joke about this.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like, look, unless there's like some bad blood that there's been previously, come on, little chirps here and there, that's all fine. But once you take it a step too far over that, it's like, all right, relax, dude.
Well, the other thing is that I'm not here to throw the guy under the bus, because I said what I need to say in the group. I don't go on the radio and say about somebody what I haven't or wouldn't say to them. Okay, I'm not one of those people. I'm not using my microphone as opportunity to trash talk people. But I just feel like in the world we live in, don't be the guy who makes something unfun. Okay, and I think that's why part of the reason why I'm so angry about the Philadelphia Eagles. And that leads us right into our opening topic here on Hanging with Hennig. 609-403-0973. By the way, the guy who I'm talking about is probably listening, so he's probably going to text in and tell me that I misinterpreted. Yep, there he is. He already has texted in that he was breaking balls. And, yeah, I don't need a explanation of what people were or were not doing, okay? There's a reason why I have a minor in psychology, okay? Not just because I hated college and I took every social science class I could take because I hated math, okay? It's also because of the fact that there's an understanding when it comes to psychology and sociology, and this is why the Eagles come into the conversation. Less talk, more doing. If you're the person who has to tell me I'm working hard, if you're the person who has to tell me I'm putting in the work, if you're the person who has to tell me we're doing our best, if you're the person who has to tell me that you were right and somebody else is wrong, you probably have an insecurity streak, or you probably are not doing as much work as you think you are. And that's what I think the Philadelphia Eagles are, Alex. I think the Eagles are in a situation where I think that they are doing too much gum yapping and not enough working. Because it's getting to the point where there are people who are much smarter than you and me, who played the game, who are saying that the Eagles have a problem. Nick Foles on the season podcast, I will get that name right at some point, said this earlier this week about the Philadelphia Eagles and their offense.
Their biggest issue is fundamentals. And you're like, wait, what? I don't see, and what I mean about fundamentals, I'm watching the game, timing and rhythm off. Mm-hmm. The big plays are happening on scrambles or late adjustments where it's a slant route and A.J. Brown goes like a slant go, drops the ball. Jalen finds him, throws a good ball. There was drops. So fundamentals, we're dropping too many passes with our big receivers. Like, they got to make those plays. They know that too.
I'm starting to wonder, Alex, if the team is doing what is necessary in practice in order to get ready for the game. Because I am hearing way too much about execution, about fundamentals, about the play calling style. You know, the idea that they're just picking plays off a sheet. They're actually not calling a game. They're not game planning properly. Like, there's a lot of talk out there that the Eagles are just not doing what is necessary to prepare for the game. And listen, I picked them to lose on Monday night. You were with me last week when I picked them to lose. And I wasn't picking them to lose because I thought it would be that bad. I was picking them to lose because I just didn't see a scenario where they're doing enough. And you know what? Hard Knocks, it's great and all that they're having fun at practice and that they love each other and that they believe in each other. You know, Jordan Davis, I don't know if you heard him come out this week and him talk about how much he believes in the offense, how much he loves them. But talk is cheap. And we're getting to the point with the Philadelphia Eagles where I just don't care what you have to say unless what you are saying has a direct correlation to your success on the field.
So then who is this all falling under? Where, like, these constant penalties, constant lack of execution, like you said, Foles said, like, that's got to come back all on coaching, right? Like, if these guys look prepared and they're all saying the right things in practice throughout the week, then the lights shine and our guys crumble, like, who does that fall under? Who has to get these guys prepared like they had been all of last year to go out and compete and win every Sunday? Like, I feel like that's got to be on Nick Sirianni.
Listen, I don't not blame. How about this? I don't not blame Sirianni for some of this because he is a CEO head coach. He is the executive, right? He is the man who's supposed to be leading the charge. And again, anyone who's watched Hard Knocks, Sirianni gives a great speech. Great speech guy. He is great at dropping the speech on you. But for whatever reason, that speech is not landing. And that's why I think it's a half and half deal. I think it's half the coaching staff because Kevin Matula should have never been in the job that he's in. And I think Sirianni is not having enough brutal conversations about what he needs to do better behind closed doors. But I think it's also the players. At some point, you're making millions of dollars. Have a little professional pride. Have a little, hey guys, we got to be better. You got to be better. We all got to be better. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. There is nobody walking around the locker room telling guys this is unacceptable. I don't see who that guy is.
Do you feel as though, because I've been feeling this for a while, that the message from the guys up top is just running a little stale right now? It's just in one ear and out the other to these players.
Now, when you say up top, are you just talking about the entire coaching staff, individual people on the coaching staff? Like, what do you mean by that?
The defense looks like they're showing up every week doing their thing. So I guess I'm more talking about when, Kevin Patullo is talking, Sirianni's talking. Like, do you feel like these guys are just kind of, yeah. All right, next thing. Like, not really concerned about it, whatever you're saying.
Listen, I don't know if they're phasing it out completely, but I don't think your question is invalid because I think there is a question to be had of at what point is... But see, this is where I have trouble. You just won a championship last year with the majority of this coaching staff, right? And the defense is going out there and they're executing. They're going out there, aside from one game recently.
I think that is because there's belief in the guy who's in the headset, Vic Fangio.
On defense.
On offense, I don't know if those guys have the same belief. When they had Kellen Moore, when Jalen Hurts had Kellen Moore in his ear, calling plays, there was a belief there probably.
Right.
Now, especially with what are we, 12 weeks, 13 weeks into the season? I don't know if that belief is there. So now it's just, yeah, whatever, dude. And that's a rough, scary spot to be in, especially going into a playoff push right now with Dallas right on your tail.
One of the texts coming in at 694030973. Ray in EHT says this is probably on Kevin Batullo. He puts the game plan together for the offense. I would assume, I'm sure Sirianni has some input, but it might have a lot to do with Kevin. And I think that's where it was interesting, what Jalen Hurts said after the game. Because, the reporting came out that Sirianni was more involved, right? And I thought it was interesting that, Hurts basically admitted, he's like, yeah, Sirianni was more involved, and it was a good thing for us. And it's like, well, if Sirianni was more involved and it was a good thing, then what happened? Here's Jalen Hurts earlier this week.
I mean, we had a lot of opportunity out there. Nick stepped in, and I think he played a very good role this week, provided some structure and kind of organized some things for us. Obviously, we still have ways and room for improvement. But I look at myself first. I look the man in the mirror first and say, how can I respond to all those things? So the mentality, as I've said, is to execute everything as called and try and bring the strategy, that we're taking in that game to life as best as I can.
And that's part of the reason why we're going to have Tony Banks on the show, 10-year NFL quarterback and Super Bowl champion, coming up at 2:25 today, Alex, because Hurts is saying the right stuff, but there's obviously a disconnect between what he's saying, what's happening on the field, and then what's happening in practice. To me, it's a three-way disconnect. So that's why, for me, it's like Sirianni could have impact. Maybe he has input. Maybe he did help. Maybe Hurts isn't lying. Maybe Sirianni had some great ideas last week, leading up to the Chargers game. But it obviously didn't play out the way they wanted it to.
I actually think, now, it wasn't great, the play calling. I'll just say that up front.
The play calling has been poor all year.
Yeah. But I think as this Chargers game, speaking about that was actually probably the best I've seen the play calling be in a long time. It was still not great, but it was better than what I feel like we're used to. And I feel like we could have won that game with what the play callers were giving us. Jalen just didn't execute. A.J. Brown didn't execute. The penalties, guys, Mailata holding, the guys didn't execute. Coaching, the offensive coaching in this game gave them more of a chance to succeed than they have all season long, I feel like. The players just didn't take advantage of it.
Right.
So you get a bounce back week here against the Raiders. I pray it's not like the Cardinals game back in 23.
So if I see, can I say real quick, and this is where Mike Gill and I incredibly disagree this week. The Sports Fest with Mike Gill, 2 to 6 p.m. here on 97.3 ESPN. I'm Josh Hennig. He's Alex Berardis. You're hanging with Hennig, streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studios at Josh Hennig. People forget that a big reason why that game went the way it did is because who's on the other side? Jonathan Gannon was coaching the Cardinals. Jonathan Gannon, a former guy who was coaching against your team, your players, your offense for not 1, not 2 years, multiple years, Gannon. And by the way, Gannon knew Sirianni because they worked together in Indianapolis. So you could argue that Gannon had all the answers in that game. And people forget, the Eagles' offense showed up in that game. It was their defense that got completely slathered. So I think that that's where the game, I just can't mentally make the connection for me because I think there were too many variables that went into that game that created that dynamic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but look, I think the Eagles are going to win this weekend. They are just flat out a better team. They're a better team than they were in 23, but there's still that chance where Jalen Hurts throws a few interceptions, and now the defense is starting on their own 20-yard line, having to try to just fend off Kenny Pickett. But still, after a while, having bad field position and being constantly on the field after 3 and out, it's going to take its toll on these guys on the defensive side. So there's always that chance. I think it's unlikely, but there's still that chance.
Listen, there's always a chance. I mean, there's a chance somebody gets injured tomorrow. I mean, I can't function in the realm of there's a chance too much because you know what happens? Then we start creating so many scenarios that we lose track of the actual game. And I think that's why for me, again, I can't speak for anybody else, but for me, I just can't make the connection to the Cardinals game because I feel like there were elements in that game that allowed for that to happen. And again, you lost that game because of the defense, that Cardinals game. Your offense scored over 30 points in the game. People forget that. Like, the offense wasn't the problem in the Cardinals. The offense was the problem in the 49ers game. The offense was the problem in the Seahawks game in 2023 and the Dallas game. It wasn't in the Cardinals game. The offense went off. Just the defense couldn't stop you, me, and a nosebleed. So,
well, then you bring up Jonathan Gannon being the coach of that year. On a lesser scale, Kenny Pickett started in that game, who faced the defense in practice all last year.
Yeah, but to me, there's a little bit of a difference between a coach.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's still a difference, but it's
right.
There's still something there.
Listen, I'm not denying that the Kenny Pickett factor is interesting, but I think it's actually more of a negative for the Raiders than a positive because I don't think if Kenny Pickett was such a great quarterback, he wouldn't be a 500 record as a starter. So to me, I think it's actually more bad news for the Raiders because I think Gannon's going to eat him alive. I think Gannon is going to make Kenny two gloves, Kenny small hands, whatever you nickname. What's up?
Vic Fangio or Jonathan Gannon? You said Gannon.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Fangio. I think Fangio is going to eat him alive.
He should. The Eagles are the number one defense against tight ends. They probably have the best tight end in the league in Brock Bowers.
Yep.
And then they got Ashton Genty. That's probably their only two things that they got.
Oh, that's the only thing they got.
Yeah. Like, you just got to clog up the middle and then just have Nakobe Dean just like a wet T-shirt on Bowers.
He's Alex Berardis. I'm Josh Hennig. It's Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. And as always, Hanging with Hennig being brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook, the only sportsbook app offering you Caesars rewards. Bet on gridiron action and earn perks in every game, like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code Radio20X. And place your first bet of $1 or more for a chance to double your winnings on your next 20 bets. Open to new users in New Jersey who are 21 or older. Max bet of $25 for boosted winnings. Max additional winnings, $2,500 per bet. Profit boost tokens expire 14 days after receipt. See Caesars.com/promo for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. We're going to switch it up and go to the Phillies conversation next. We'll check back in on the text board. I see text from Paul from Millville and others at 609-403-0973, along with Alex Berardis. I'm Josh Hennig. This is Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank, Seattle City, and streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio.
This is the radio home for Philadelphia Eagles football. The Eagles continue the 2025 season tomorrow, hosting the Las Vegas Raiders.
Hurts with a quick pitch out to Barkley. He has the first down and more. 40, 30, 20, 10, touchdown! Saquon Barkley!
Pre-game coverage starts at noon with Merrill Reese and Mike Quick calling all the action starting at 1 p.m. This is where the Eagles play. 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's Eagles station.
Yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora is your destination for good food, great vibes, and every Eagles game with the sound on. Catch their special Birds Game Day food and drink specials every weekend. Plus, you can watch all the college football bowl games on their plethora of TVs, along with every Sixers and Flyers game for all you Philly sports fans. Don't miss out on yesterday's nightly food specials starting at 5 p.m. Monday through Thursday, along with reverse happy hour specials 9 p.m. to close each week. So call your friends and catch all the games at the Y. Yesterday's Creekside Tavern, Roosevelt Boulevard in Marmora. Follow them on Instagram and Facebook for more information about upcoming events and food specials.
Making your home look brand new is what Work of Art Construction can do for you. Ready to remodel your bathroom or have a kitchen makeover? Art Masker has 40 years of experience in construction and knows how to make your home look like a work of art. Want to install a new back deck or invest in a new front door? Just call Art Masker at 609-788-4271 to learn more. Visit Work of Art Construction on Instagram to see how Work of Art Construction can make your home look brand new. Beautify your home with Work of Art. Call him at 609-788-4271 and let them make your home truly a work of art.
You don't want to miss final year-end pricing. Now at RK Kia of Vineland. Brand new Kias, $199 a month. $199. Lease new 26 Kia K4 LXs from just $199 a month. $199 for 24 months. New front-wheel drive 26 Kia Sorento S, just $388 a month. $388. Final year-end pricing at RK Kia of Vineland. Need credit? We work with all types of credit situations. Plus, you get RK coverage, no charge. Ding repair, tire repair, wheel repair, windshield repair, and more. No charge. You don't want to miss final year-end pricing. Our lowest prices of the year. Brand new Kias, $199 a month. During the Kia Season of New Traditions sales event. RK Kia of Vineland. RK does it right. MyRKKia.com. MyRKKia.com.
To qualified buyers, plus tax and title. For details, call 856-641-1111 or myrkkia.com.
Comcast Business is celebrating the holidays by giving your business the $1,000 holiday bonus when you switch to a gig speed internet package. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 12, the new laptop for the office holiday hero. Or possibility number 108, smart speakers to deck those hallways. Or possibility number 192, new equipment for the new year. Or possibility number 555, Bluetooth holiday lights for office decor. Switch to Comcast Business, designed for 100% reliability with business internet and wireless connect, plus advanced cybersecurity, and now get the $1,000 holiday bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 12/14/25. New customers only with 2-year agreement. Requires qualifying gig package. Other restrictions apply.
Are you ready to sell your home? Call Dave Beach. He makes sure his clients receive the very best in service. Dave Beach at RE/MAX Community is your trusted local expert. Fast closings, top offers, and service just like your family. 609-685-4942. Online at soldbydavebeach.com.
Oh no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
my debit card.
Their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
The renovation celebration is underway at Matt Black Kia during the It's a Wrap grand opening sales event. Give yourself the gift of savings with 0% financing for 60 months or get up to $10,000 cash back on select new Kias. And for the ultimate holiday deal, choose between a 2026 Kia Sportage EX for just $167 a month or a 2025 Kia Telluride LX for only $267 a month. Both 24-month leases with just $39.99 due at sign. Visit mattblackkia.com or call 215-703-8526 for details. It's gotta be a Matt Black Kia.
Right now at the Home Depot, shop appliance savings and get up to 40% off select appliances like Samsung. Upgrade your kitchen with the Samsung Bespoke 4-door refrigerator. Now featuring the dual auto ice maker with Sphere Ice, only at the Home Depot. You'll have perfectly chilled drinks for every gathering. Shop appliance savings now at the Home Depot. Offer valid December 11th through January 1st. U.S. only. See store online for details.
Caesars Sportsbook app is the only sportsbook app with Caesars rewards. Bet on gridiron action and earn perks on every game like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code RADIO20X and place your first bet of $1 or more for a chance to double your winnings on your next 20 bets. Open to new users in New Jersey who are 21 or older. Max bet at $25 for boosted winnings. Max additional winnings $2,500 per bet. Profit boost tokens expire 14 days after receipt. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now back to Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
I don't want them to gain another yard.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
You blitz all night.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig hanging out with you on 97.3 ESPN. As promised, we're going to get into the Phillies conversation now because I think that the signing of Kyle Schwarber, first of all, I was a little surprised by it. I mean, the Phillies usually wait until like January and February to make any moves, but they actually didn't wait until January and February to make a move. They actually got somebody before Christmas. So Merry Christmas to Phillies fans. Kyle Schwarber is back. What does that mean for the team the rest of this offseason? Frank Klose, our Phillies insider from 97.3 ESPN.com. He joins us right now to talk more about the Phillies here on 97.3 ESPN. Frank, appreciate you making the time today. How's it going?
Oh, it's going great. How are you? It's nice to see you. It's been a while, Josh.
Well, you know, the Phillies haven't done anything for a while, so it's you can blame them. But, Frank, I said before, I don't know how you feel, but how surprised are you that this Schwarber deal got done the way it did?
I'm actually not that surprised, even down to the number of years and number of dollars. It was kind of known going into the offseason that Schwarber would want 5 years, and it was thought that he might get about $30 million a year. And what ended up happening was 5 years at $30 million a year. And I think it was one of the maybe worst negotiation tactics ever from the Schwarber side, because it was like, well, everybody knew that he seemed to want to come back to Philadelphia, and anybody that got involved probably was just setting the price for the Phillies. And so, by the way, what was Pittsburgh doing? 4 years? To me, that was just a waste of their time. I don't know why they even bothered. But, you know, the Orioles gave the 5-year, $150 million offer that everybody thought that Schwarber might command. And once that was on the table, I think the two sides were like, all right, let's just do this deal. So I don't think it was a surprise to either side. I think they both expected to reunite heading into the offseason, although there's always some risk in that. You never know if all of a sudden the grass seems a little greener somewhere else. But, I just thought that Schwarber was too ingrained into this culture of greater Philadelphia, not just the Phillies. And the fact that John Middleton, the owner, and the president of baseball operations, Dave Dombrowski, they all kind of openly said, yeah, we'll do whatever it takes. I think it just led to other teams not even getting involved. I mean, some of the other teams you would expect to be involved in Schwarber, it doesn't sound like they even made offers. The likes of the Red Sox and Mets are. So to me, this was a no-brainer that it was going to happen. Again, down to the dollar, a number of years. And so they got it done early, and then the Phillies could then turn to other things. So I think if Schwarber wanted to come back, there really wasn't going to be a long wait here. So I think it was just a matter of figuring out the right amount to pay him, and then now they can get on to other business. And I think that's the important thing, that this was a box that the team could check off, and they don't have to go making contingency plans.
With that being said, because you mentioned about how this was a priority to them, and that we have heard that a lot. You had mentioned that in the past with Mike Gill and the Sports Bash. I remember other people reporting that as well. So for you, Frank, now that the priority is taken care of, right? Now we've gotten that, hey, that's done, that's cleaned up. What is next? Because I think a lot of Phillies fans, they all wanted Schwarber back. I don't think there was a single Phillies fan who was like, I don't want Schwarber back, right? But now we're seeing, well, what are they going to do about JT Realmuto, right? The reporting out there, I think it was Jim Bowden that said that the Phillies are begging teams to take Castellanos and his $20 million. Like, what is actually next for the Phillies? Because I think the fans, they want more than just to run it back.
Yeah, I think that they're going to not make any big splashes that you might think that the Phillies would make, like as they've made in the past, signing the Bryce Harpers and Trey Turners. I think this is going to be a little bit more work around the edges and try to shore up some areas that were a little deficient. For example, Castellanos, if you look at the numbers, I mean, his defense was league worst in the outfield, according to several metrics, including defensive runs saved and defensive WAR. He was right at the bottom. So, and really, I think on an ideal situation for Nick Castellanos, he's a DH, and the Phillies already have one. In fact, they just re-signed theirs, right? So I think they need a better outfield going into next year. That's going to be mainly subtracting Castellanos, bringing in Justin Crawford. I think that's pretty much your one-for-one swap there. They have somebody ready to take over, and they're speaking about Crawford like he's going to be on the team heading into next year. It's a shame he got a concussion towards the end of the season last year. That kind of knocked him out of the Phillies' plans for 2025. But really, I think there's some questions to resolve. Alec Boehm, I mean, he's got 1 year left on his contract. I think the problem with Alec Boehm, and Mike Gill says this a lot, that his bat is not really a number 4 hitter bat. And the Phillies kind of need to find a spot where they can put a right-handed bat who bats fourth. That's been a real challenge for the Phillies. And JT Realmuto, if he comes back, I think it's okay if he fills in a day or two here or there when he's hot, but he's not really that bat. Castellanos hasn't been that bat. So I think there's some wiggle room here. Maybe it involves an Alec Boehm trade. I mean, the right-handed bat market is really, really, really empty this offseason. There's just not a lot of options, which means the Phillies might be able to trade an Alec Boehm to a team that has more of an opportunity to let him bat somewhere else in the order that's more appropriate for somebody like him. And let's not forget, he's going to be a free agent after next year. So if you can move him for some pieces that can help you, I don't think he's going to bring you a whole lot, but you could get some other pieces back into the organization, and then they can figure out a solution at third base. Now, the Phillies have been long linked to Munetaka Murakami, Japanese kind of slugger, third baseman, first baseman. I have a little pause just because he is not necessarily that ideal player that you're looking for. I think because of the fact that he bats left-handed. I think of the fact that his defense. Some people wonder if he can stick at third base, and obviously the Phillies have designated hitter and first base pretty locked up right now. So, but the Phillies apparently remain in the mix for him, and we should know by the 22nd of December where he's going. And then I think the dominoes can fall a little bit. So I think they're trying to find that right-handed bat. I think they're trying to figure out how to replace Harrison Bader in center field. That's not a major reconstruct. I mean, they are pieces around the edges, but the way that Dave Dombrowski often does things is he tries to get incremental value upgrades wherever he can. And then once he kind of has those in place, you get to the trade deadline, and then he tries to fill holes. So that doesn't sound super exciting to fans that want a big splash. I mean, I don't think the Phillies are going to be going Kyle Tucker. They might have if Schwarber didn't re-sign, but there's really no big splash, I think, in the Phillies' future. They might make a trade of say Matt Strahm. There's some rumors out there that the Phillies could consider moving Strahm. I mean, you see the price of relievers right now. Strahm, again, someone who could be a free agent soon. Maybe you can get some value back. And the Phillies also have Alvarado and Banks and the left-handed from the bullpen. The Phillies do need a right-handed reliever too. So if I'm the Phillies, I'm just trying to get a right-handed reliever to put ahead of Orion Kerkering. I'm trying to figure out who can bat fourth on this team and that hits from the right side. And really, there's not a lot of wiggle room to do that. So I think that's the puzzle the Phillies are working on right now. But again, probably not some big splashy names that you might desire to have under your Christmas tree.
So a guy who's he could be a big splash name, but a guy that I've been clamoring for the past few weeks is Cody Bellinger. He is a left-handed hitter. Yeah, big splashy name. But I feel like if you could replace him in right field, then you put Crawford center, possibly Marsh at left. I feel like that could be a really good outfield. Any links to that name at all? I
haven't heard. The Phillies were sniffing around him reportedly. I think that could have been part of the whole Schwarber negotiation and doing your due diligence if he doesn't come back. I mean, Bellinger, the nice thing that he brings is he's a heck of a defensive player too, and you can plug him all over the place, which is great. I mean, even to this day, I wouldn't hesitate to put him in center for a few days if you had to. Really be plus defense in the corner in right field. Now he is a left-handed hitter. The nice thing about Bellinger is he's traditionally had what they call reverse splits. He does better in the slots where you would consider you need a right-handed hitter. So I would actually be very okay with Cody Bellinger coming onto this team. It doesn't sound like the Phillies are going to spend that money. Now, look, if they trade Boehm, if they trade Strahm, both, maybe that frees up some money. I can't really figure out where else they're going to come up with some cash without removing those two. I would call that a long shot at this point. If If Schwarber didn't come back, then I think there'd be a better chance. But yeah, really, really nice player, but I don't get the impression they're playing on him too hard.
Frank Klose, 97.3 ESPN.com Phillies insider, joins us right now. We're hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Of course, his Phillies mailbag throughout the season at 97.3 ESPN.com, at Frank Klose with a K on the Twitter X platform. Frank, we've talked a lot about the offense so far, but what about the pitching staff? Because there is that huge, huge question mark over the Phillies about we have no idea when Zach Wheeler is returning next year. And so that creates a dynamic of flux for the pitching staff going in the next year. This is a pitching staff that, listen, for Christopher Sanchez, amazing year last year. But hey, is Ranger Suarez coming back? Is Andrew Painter going to be what we hope he's going to be at the big league level? Is Aaron Nola bounce back from his whatever that was last year? So, to me, I think there's just many questions with the pitching staff, but it doesn't get much attention because a lot of the conversation has been about the hitters.
Well, think of it this way. Last season, the Phillies won 96 games with Zach Wheeler missing the end of the season, with Aaron Nola missing most of it. And really, their starting pitching depth was what really let that happen. And so the obvious thing is Ranger Suarez is a free agent. Now, the Phillies still have a pretty decent rotation, even if you just subtract Suarez from the board, right? You still have Zach Wheeler coming back. Hopefully, now from what I'm understanding, they don't expect him to miss much time at all, if not be ready opening day. So all reports are good on Zach Wheeler so far. So that's a relief. But I will say, still a bit of a question mark. You never know what a guy will be like when he comes off of any injury, right? Because he's not pitching, and so not staying in that baseball shape because he wasn't able to use that arm. So I agree that remains a question mark there. Aaron Nola showed some signs of life at the end. That's pretty good. But, you still have Christopher Sanchez. You still have Jesus Luzardo. Andrew Painter's still lurking now that he had his sort of his rehab complete and had some opportunity to pitch a little. Although he struggled with his command last year, his stuff was there. So, when I see the stuff being there, I tend to think that they can work on the mechanics and get that ironed out. So he's still lurking. Hey, Taijuan Walker, he's still around. I know he's not the exciting player, but you're looking at someone who could be your fifth starter maybe. He's still there. So you still kind of feel good about their pitching and the starting side of things. And, one big question I do have, though. If you remember back several years ago, one off season, it was probably about this time in, 2010, the Phillies and Cliff Lee shocked the world by re-signing him after all that. The only thing I could think about Suarez maybe coming back. Now, the Phillies have openly said, hey, yeah, of course we're interested in Suarez. Now, by the way, there are rules, that you shouldn't openly say you're not interested in a player because you're trying to avoid collusion and stuff like that. So the Phillies at least publicly say, oh, yeah, well, maybe. But I think Suarez really wants to be in Philadelphia. So I think the odds are low, but I wouldn't be shocked if you had some Cliff Lee moment where the two sides really love each other and just want to be together and they find a way to get it done. That would not shock me. So, but the Phillies still have a little bit of depth. They signed Bryce Wilson. No one knows if that's a minor league deal or a major league deal yet. But the Phillies have reportedly been adding depth as a guy. It's like when they signed Kobe Allard, that kind of thing, or Spencer Turnbull, the type that you hope can maybe fill in as a starter here or there. So they are picking up pieces like that, but I think their depth remains strong. Outside chance Suarez could return, probably not. I think there'll be a lot of teams out there willing to open up the checkbook, but I'll just leave a little bit of room in case the two sides just like each other so much that they figure something out.
He's Frank Klose, our Phillies insider at 97.3 ESPN.com. Give him a follow on Twitter X at Frank Klose with a K. And, of course, as Phillies news breaks and evolves and mitigates and whatever other term you want to use, Frank Klose is the guy you want to keep up with. He'll be joining us, of course, throughout the offseason on the Sports Bench with Mike Gill, as well as hanging with Hennig here on 97.3 ESPN. Frank, appreciate you jumping on. If I don't get a chance to see you before then, Merry Christmas, my friend.
Yeah, same to you and to all the listeners, and great to talk to you, Josh and Alex.
Josh Hennig, Alex Berardis here in the 97.3 ESPN studios, hanging out with you, of course, hanging with Hennig, as always, being brought to you by my friends over at Prevail Nutrition. Tired of cooking and planning out all your meals each week? Well, you need Prevail Nutrition to simplify your life. That's what they did to me. They delivered right here to the studio yesterday, and I finally had something to eat yesterday. They took care of me, and they can do the same to you. You can order online for pickup or get free delivery on orders over $50. Prevail Nutrition delivers to Atlantic and Cumberland counties along with Ocean City. You can pick up your meals every Monday and Friday or have it delivered. For more information about how Prevail Nutrition can simplify your life, visit our website at prevailnutrition.club or follow them at Prevail Nutrition on Facebook and Instagram. Prevail Nutrition is my go-to choice for prepared meals. It should be yours as well. prevailnutrition.club to get started with the best meal prep service in South Jersey, delivering to Atlantic, Cumberland counties, as well as Ocean City. Josh Hennig hanging out with you. We'll get you on the text board coming up next, 97.3 ESPN. I'll see Jeff's comment on the YouTube stream, so we'll get to all of you guys coming up on the other side. Josh Hennig, Alex Berardis hanging out with you on 97.3 ESPN.
It's Sixers basketball tomorrow night on 97.3 ESPN with the voice of the Sixers, Tom McGinnis, calling all the exciting play-by-play action.
Here's Maxey driving the ball, skids to a stop. Here's VJ Edgecombe for three, and it's in! Edgecombe a clutch three!
It's Sixers Hawks tomorrow night. Coverage begins at 6 p.m. It's Sixers basketball all season long on South Jersey's radio home for Philadelphia 76ers basketball. 97.3 ESPN.
Get ready to level up your game day at Tropicana Atlantic City. Introducing Gridiron Pit, powered by Caesars Sportsbook, a high-energy fan zone where blackjack meets big screens, bold bites, and big wins. Play your hand, catch every snap, indulge in tailgate-inspired food and drinks, and spin the big wheel of prizes. Every Saturday and Sunday throughout football season, Gridiron Pit, where the thrill of the game meets the rush of the table. Located near the cashier cage, learn more at Caesars.com. Must be 21 or older. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Tired of cooking and planning all of your meals each and every day? You need Prevail Nutrition to simplify your life. For almost a decade, Prevail Nutrition is a local meal prep company located in South Jersey that allows customers to design their own meal plan. Or you can choose from a wide variety of chef-designed meals on their weekly changing Prevail Selects menu. You can order online for pickup or get free delivery on orders of over $50. Prevail Nutrition delivers to Atlantic and Cumberland counties along with Ocean City. Or you can pick up your meals every Monday and Friday. Learn more about how Prevail Nutrition can simplify your life. Visit their website at prevailnutrition.club. Check out Prevail Nutrition on Facebook and Instagram. Prevail Nutrition is my go-to choice for prepared meals and foods. Order online, like me, at prevailnutrition.club.
For over 135 years, First Bank of Sea Isle City has proudly served Cape May County with a commitment to maintaining a hometown feel. We provide secure, convenient deposit and loan products every day. We're more than just a bank. We're a trusted community partner, offering personalized banking solutions that make life easier for local families of all ages. First Bank of Sea Isle City. Look for our lighthouse in your neighborhood and discover what makes us different.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Kohl's Customer Appreciation Event is here, right in time for the gift exchange. Even though everyone pretends gifting isn't a competition, it kinda is. At Kohl's, save on gifts everyone will fight over. From sweaters and flannels to air fryers, toaster ovens, and more. Because deep down, the gift exchange isn't just about giving. It's also about winning. Shop Kohl's and save on top gifts now. Select styles, some exclusions apply. Offers end December 14th. See store or kohls.com for details.
You don't want to miss final year-end pricing. Now at RK Kia of Vineland. Brand new Kias, $199 a month. $199. Lease new 26 Kia K4 LXs from just $199 a month. $199 for 24 months. New front-wheel drive 26 Kia Sorento S, just $388 a month. $388. Final year-end pricing at RK Kia of Vineland. Need credit? We work with all types of credit situations. Plus, you get RK coverage, no charge. Ding repair, tire repair, wheel repair, windshield repair, and more. No charge. you don't want to miss. Final year-end pricing. Our lowest prices of the year. Brand new Kias, $199 a month. During the Kia Season of New Traditions sales event. RK Kia of Vineland. RK does it right. MyRKKia.com. MyRKKia.com.
To qualified buyers, plus tax and title. For details, call 856-641-1111 or myrkkia.com.
Are you ready to sell your home? Call Dave Beach. He makes sure his clients receive the very best in service. Dave Beach at RE/MAX Community is your trusted local expert. Fast closings, top offers, and service just like your family. 609-685-4942. Online at soldbydavebeach.com.
The countdown is on because diamonds are lighting up the holidays at Robert's Fine Jewelers. December 11th through the 14th only. 4 days to save big on diamond studs, diamond necklaces, diamond tennis bracelets, diamond rings, gemstone jewelry, and so much more. If it sparkles, it's on sale. This is the holiday event you've been waiting for to finish checking off those wish lists. Make this the biggest holiday ever at Robert's Fine Jewelers at the Plaza at Center Point in Northfield. December 11th through the 14th. Robert's Fine Jewelers, where your holiday sparkles. Online at robertsfinejewelers.com.
The renovation celebration is underway at Matt Black Kia during the It's a Wrap grand opening sales event. Give yourself the gift of savings with 0% financing for 60 months or get up to $10,000 cash back on select new Kias. And for the ultimate holiday deal, choose between a 2026 Kia Sportage EX for just $167 a month or a 2025 Kia Telluride LX for only $267 a month. Both 24-month leases with just $39.99 due at sign. Visit mattblackkia.com or call 215-703-8526 for details. It's gotta be a Matt Black Kia.
With appliance savings at the Home Depot, get up to 40% off select innovative appliances like GE Profile. Add a touch of ease to your holiday with the all-in-one combo to wash and dry your laundry in one machine. And refrigerators with built-in convenient features like the dual dispense autofill water pitcher. Shop appliance savings on select appliances at the Home Depot. Offer valid December 11th through January 1st. U.S. only. See store online for details.
Caesars Sportsbook app is the only sportsbook app with Caesars rewards. Bet on gridiron action and earn perks on every game like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code RADIO20X and place your first bet of $1 or more for a chance to double your winnings on your next 20 bets. Open to new users in New Jersey who are 21 or older. Max bet at $25 for boosted winnings. Max additional winnings $2,500 per bet. Profit boost tokens expire 14 days after receipt. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You're hanging with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
Hey, you know what? There's another name you might know me by. Star-Lord.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
Who? Star-Lord, man. Legendary outlaw.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig back here along with Alex Berardis, the 97.3 ESPN studios. Hanging with Hennig being brought to you as always by yesterday's Creekside Tavern. They don't just have the sound on for every Eagles game, but next Saturday, we will be out at Yesterday's in Marmora with the Eagles pregame show, leading you into Eagles football. And then we will have an Eagles watch party Yesterday's where you can win a Kelly Green, Jalen Carter jersey. We also have Eagles swag, courtesy of Heritage Surf and Sport, as well as other great prizes. But you must be present next Saturday for your chance to win. Come on down, hang out with me, Josh Hennig, at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora. The prize giveaways at halftime, part of the watch party. And, of course, it's just one of the many reasons you need to check out yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora. Don't forget about their nightly food specials starting at 5 p.m. Monday through Thursday, along with reverse happy hour specials, 9 p.m. to close. So call your friends and catch all the games at the Y. Yesterday's Creekside Tavern on Roosevelt Boulevard in Marmora. All right, Alex, as promised, I wanted to get to some of these texts from the texters. 609-403-0973, as I also got some messages on the StreamYard. So, but I'll get to the text board first and foremost here, because we got a text from Paul from Millville. He joined the conversation with the fantasy football conversation earlier. He says, Josh, a wise man once told me the only person who cares about your fantasy team is yourself. No matter how much you want people to care, they only care about your team. Paul says, I'd rather have trash talk than an empty fantasy group chat. It keeps it interesting. Thanks. And I would just say to Paul from Millville, I think you're, big picture, you're right on both fronts. I don't mind some trash talk. I don't mind somebody, coming into the group and being like, I finished with 1,000 more points than you. You know, like, for example, you know, in our fantasy football league 97.3, we gave out the winner for the regular season points because it's very hard to win the regular season and the postseason. And
it's impressive.
You know, but guess what? The guy who came in second in the points, he missed the postseason. He only missed the points win by 54 points, which is basically like, what, 2 good games, really great games. So congratulations to Scott Grayson, by the way. Scott Grayson was the points winner for the regular season in 97.3 Fantasy League, and PG came in second. But it doesn't mean you can't win the postseason. And I think Scott Grayson could have easily come on into the group chat and flex on everybody. He didn't. He just like, you know, hey, you know, good luck to everybody in the postseason. In the group chat, you know, PG basically, you know, gave, you know, the poop emoji. So, you know, but I mean, to me, that's a fun group chat. Guys are not taking it like, you know, aggressively serious.
Because then we got guys like, if we wanted to, Billy Schweim's 0-14. He could be catching some just haymakers right now.
Yeah, and I think the thing with Billy is I can't even talk trash on Billy because of the fact that I don't feel like Billy going. I don't like to step on other people's graves, is the old saying, right? You know, I remember when I was younger, you know, people, you know, the idea of I used to have a teacher, rest in peace, Mr. Schwartz from K-Bay Tech. He used to say, you never kick a man when he's down, right? And so, like, hey, Billy had a bad year in fantasy football, but I'm not going to sit here and like gloat over it or get excited over it. Like, it kind of stinks because I want parity in the fantasy league. I want everybody to be good. Billy had a very long string of bad luck, and it caught up to him overall in the end. That's all.
The only real trash talk that I get in my leagues is about bad trades. Like, I've been in this league for 4 years. It's a dynasty.
League, yeah. Right.
So last year, now that we're a year away from it, I lost this trade worse than I've lost any trade in my life.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Gave up JSN, Waddle, and 2 picks for Amon-Ra to make a push last year.
Ooh. Yeah.
But that was when, like, Waddle I'm fine giving up. I'm still not sold on him. JSN is the real one. But last year, he was not. No one saw this coming either, I don't think.
No, but I think that, like you said, like the Waddle thing makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But the JSN one, that would have. I would have
my pick last year and then my pick this year, which ended up being a top 3 pick.
Ugh.
So that's when you catch the flack, and I deserve it. I made that trade. I deserve the flack for that.
Well, we'll get back into the Eagles stuff. I see a lot of comments on the Eagles we'll get to on the other side. Josh Hennig along with Alex Berardis hanging out with you on 97.3 ESPN. Still to come. Who's really to blame for the Eagles losing 3 straight? That and more coming up in the next hour here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN.
My name is Eliza Grace Schwein.
I'm Annie. I'm Callie Clemick.
Come to the Scholars Beach House this Sunday.
Join me, Billy Schwein, former Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Dave Klemick, and Mr. Negadelphia PJ Corda. We'll get the keys to the game with Fox 29 News sports anchor Scott Grayson, brought to you by Blitz's Market of Ocean City. Hour 2, my fantasy football guru Brian Hartley, brought to you by Charlie's Bar. We'll be giving away a Kelly Green Eagles Cooper DeJean jersey, courtesy of Pro Image Sports.
Locker Room with Billy Schwein, live from the Scholars Beach House, Sunday morning from 10 a.m. to noon on 97.3 ESPN.
Merry Christmas.
During the holiday season, we may feel all stressed up with nowhere to go. Here's a few ways to relieve the pressure. Try to squeeze in a 10-minute power nap, which is surprisingly refreshing. When you're feeling uptight, take several deep breaths and let them out slowly as you massage your forehead, neck, and eyes. Stretch your entire body for at least 5 minutes each day to relax tense muscles. Sing. That's right, sing. In the car, in the shower, wherever. Preferably a holiday song. Singing loudly demands deep breathing, which can help you relax, not to mention how great it makes you feel. And last but certainly not least, make physical activity a part of your life. You'd be surprised how you can walk, cycle, or jog away your frustrations. I'm Robin Stoloff for Health Update.
It's ACUA's 35th Holiday Food Drive. Leave a clearly marked bag of canned goods by your recycling can on Collection Day during the first 2 weeks of December, and the ACUA will deliver it to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. Visit acua.com/food drive for details.
Ring in 20
2026 at Nola's Bar and Lounge at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. Make this New Year's an unforgettable night and enjoy a premium hosted bar and live music all night. Whether you're dancing the night away or toasting with friends, Nola's Bar and Lounge at Ocean Casino Resort is the place to celebrate the beginning of the new year. For tickets, visit theoceanac.com.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, I'm Chef Franklin Becker. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Sage Jewelers is your gift-giving headquarters. Sage Jewelers, the real jeweler, is offering the latest in diamond jewelry.
Sage Jewelers has certified GIA diamonds and the most exquisite diamond engagement rings. Come see the selection of lab-grown diamond and fashion jewelry, all up to 40% off. The Sage Jewelers watch selection is second to none, including Citizen, Seiko, Tissot, Timex, Casio, and G-Shock.
Sage Jewelers expert jewelers can customize anything.
Sage Jewelers, your holiday headquarters, Tilton Road in Northfield.
Right now at the Home Depot, shop appliance savings and get up to 40% off select appliances like Samsung. Upgrade your kitchen with the Samsung Bespoke 4-door refrigerator. Now featuring the dual auto ice maker with Sphere Ice, only at the Home Depot. You'll have perfectly chilled drinks for every gathering. Shop appliance savings now at the Home Depot. Offer valid December 11th through January 1st. U.S. only. See store online for details.
The champs are back, and it's game time at the family-owned Piccalilli Inn. Skip the lame chains. Treat your friends to their world-famous wings for eat-in or carry-out, and 6-packs to go. Get your chicken wing fix on Route 206 in Shamong. Visit Piccalilli.com.
South Jersey's official play-by-play home of the Eagles, Sixers, and Flyers.
At 0 point would I ever consider not being a fan of the team.
97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD. Millville, Atlantic City, a Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey.
Finally! This is Hanging with Hennig.
I have friends everywhere.
On 97.3 ESPN Radio, South Jersey.
In New Jersey. Am I right? Yeah.
Live feed on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
It seems to run on some form of electricity. Well, you're not wrong.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together.
Now, here's your host.
He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Josh Hennig.
We are here, hour 2 of Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN, along with Alex Berardis in studio. By the way, Haley Taylor Simon, for those who are wondering, she is either in Disney or on her way to Disney with her family.
Might be in the air right now.
In the air. Are you too young for that song?
Probably, because I really don't know where you were going with that.
Someone who is between 35 and 45, please let me know if you know what song I was referencing there. I'm pretty sure it was Black Eyed Peas was that song. So, but anyway,
really,
yeah.
See, I know who they are.
Okay, well,
yeah, something.
Yeah, Will.i.am, Fergie, all them, all
Yeah.
dems.
All dems.
By the way, so this is not a product placement or a sponsor, but I just felt like doing this. So before we get back to the Eagles talk, 'cause I got a bunch of comments to get to from Jeff with a J, Jeff with a G, as well on the YouTube stream. So thanks to you guys who are tuned in, watching on YouTube and X at Josh Hennig. So I saw this in the store last night, and maybe listen. I am a sucker for a good sale. Okay. So they had a sale where like buying the holiday energy drink was less expensive than buying just like the regular one. So it was like, if you buy 5 of them, you get it for like a lower cost, right?
Yeah.
You know how those deals work. So I'm a sucker for a deal. I'll admit that. I'm always trying to, save. Like, I'm the guy who will go to a completely different store to save like $2 if it's, if it makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. So I saw this version of Celsius. For those who know, I typically drink at least an energy drink a day at this point, And this one is called Spirits Vibe. I guess it's supposed to be like a holiday spirit thing. And the flavor is sparkling snowball frost, okay? So I'm going to put it on the little screen there so folks can see it. So, and I'll admit, I'm not a guy who usually buys things because of hype, but I will buy things if it's on sale and it makes sense. So I'm going to sample this right now on the radio and see how this tastes. Because when I told Alex and Nick Earnshaw when I came in the studio about this, they both kind of looked at me like, I've never heard of that flavor before. To which either is a good thing or a bad thing.
So before you take this sip.
Yes.
Because I mentioned this when you first showed me the flavor. We don't know what the flavor. Like, it's a few snowball blast. Whatever.
Snowball frost.
Exactly. What do you think it's going to... But don't sniff. What do you think it's going to be?
I think it's probably going to taste a little bit like the Gatorade Blue Rush.
Is that the light blue or the
light blue?
Okay, I can get behind that.
That's my working theory. I feel like it's like...
That's a success to me. If that's what it is, I'll buy that product all the time.
You're in. You're in if it tastes like
that's my problem, though. Tell me what I'm drinking. Don't give me some fruity, like, bear... I guess that was actually a bad... But no, this Snowball Frost. Yeah. Tell me what it's actually going to be.
I'm actually trying to read the ingredients on the back to see if there's any hint.
See, like, come on. What are we doing here? You're going to make me read the calorie intake and all that stuff to figure out whether I'm drinking berries or not? All right.
Let's drink this.
Yeah. Loud gulp.
It's a little more blueberry than expected.
See, that's what I feel. It always comes down to being berry or something.
It's definitely kind of got that Glacier Rush crisp, but it's like if the Gatorade Glacier Rush was like with blueberries.
All right, maybe we found something here. A little review show.
Listen, I have told people for years, if someone wants to jump on as a sponsor, I am a mixologist, okay? I drink coffee, I drink tea, I drink every kind of liquor there is out there. I drink energy drinks. You name it. If it's not milk, I drink it, okay? So I can literally just do a podcast where I review and explain drinks.
Coca-Cola, Celsius, Monster. Found your guy.
Yeah, I'm the guy, man. I mean, I was drinking last night and chia tea with green tea and matcha last night. I'm the guy who actually will try the weird drinks at the Christmas pop-up bar and make a huge set of opinions about that nobody cares about. I'm that guy.
All right, let's rope this back in. I feel like I'm on with Billy right now.
Get it back to the Eagles.
Yeah.
We do have some interesting messages to get to on the YouTube stream. Shout out to Jeff with a J. Chiming in, said, I'm just working on a Saturday after a 3-game losing streak, living the dream, man. And I love this comment because, first of all, shout out to Jeff from Summers Point. That's who that is. I love the comment because we all kind of feel the same way, right, Alex? It's like, hey, man, this team's got a 3-game losing streak. We're just trying to get by at this point. Isn't that how we all feel? It's like we feel, and I think this is why, this is where I love what Nick Foles said about a month ago on his podcast, where he explained, he said, players don't understand that for the fans, it almost means more to them than it means to you as a player. And Nick Foles said, as soon as you understand that and you start operating in that space, he says, that's when the fans start embracing you because then they see and hear you caring as much as they do. And I think the problem right now with this Eagles team, Alex, is I don't think the players are exuding the same energy that the fans are. And, you were at the game on Black Friday a couple of weeks ago. You said, hey, the energy in that building was off the charts at the beginning, right?
Yeah, that's what, everyone's heard that connotation that it affects the fans a lot more than it affects the players. But with the way that it's gone down recently, starting in Dallas, that better have been such a quiet plane ride home back to Philly just because of how it went down. And then the game to Chicago. That was demoralizing. You got worked. You got whooped up and down the field, offensive side of the football, defensive side of the football. And then you fly cross country to Los Angeles, get 5 turnovers, 2 in 1 play by the same player, lose in overtime on an intercept, and then take that long 6-hour flight back. It's got to start. These guys got to start feeling it, right? Because if not, that's a problem.
Well, I think that's why I said the words are getting old. It's like, hey, Jalen can tell us all he wants. I got to be better. We know you got to be better. Sirianni can say, I got to do a better job. We know you got to do a better job.
I need a Gatorade stand throne or something on the side, just something.
Well, that's why I loved the one Hard Knocks episode where I don't know if I still have the audio on the board, but Jalen Hurts, being overtly upset on the sideline about something, and it was, I don't have it right now, but it's it was a moment where he drops an F-bomb, and we had to bleep it, and it's hearing Jalen have some emotion, right, was a moment that you were like, wow, he actually has that. He cares, and then he's walking to the other players and be like, I got to do a better job. That was my fault. Those are moments in a game where the fans are feeling that, and it was nice to see the quarterback of the team feeling that.
I just you need something at it because you get if
big if
big if the message is getting dry from Patullo and Nick Sirianni, who's the next guy below them? The quarterback, Jalen Hurts.
Right.
So if these guys aren't listening and kind of just, whatever to the coaches, and then the quarterback's kind of just in robot mode, I got to be better, I got to execute, keep the main thing, then there's nobody who's going to speak up and get these guys to believe again. So I honestly am starting to believe it's going to come down to Hurts stepping up and whipping these boys back into shape.
More messages coming in on the YouTube stream at Josh Hennig at 973 ESPN on X. We got Jeff with a G. This is Jeff from Ocean City, by the way, chiming in. He says, it's hard to get excited about the Eagles right now. I just don't see a playoff run this year. That's an interesting question because is this team capable of making a playoff run? And really, you could argue, and I'm not trying to diminish last year's run, okay? I'm not trying to do that. But if the Detroit Lions didn't have 15 guys on injured reserve last year, do we really think Washington beats them in the second round?
No.
Do we think that if Tampa beat Washington in the first round, and by the way, Washington beat them the same way the Falcons beat them on Thursday night. It was Zane Gonzalez in both games kicking a field goal that barely went through the upright.
Tampa's a blunder right now.
Right, but what if Tampa caught heat in last year's postseason, and then it was you versus Tampa, the NFC Championship game? Sometimes in football we forget that, yes, you got to play the hand you're dealt, but you also sometimes got to get a little lucky. So, what if the Eagles get lucky this postseason? What if, let's say the Rams get the number 1 seed, right? I'm just throwing out a scenario, okay? Rams get the 1 seed, Eagles first round home game, right? And then the Rams get upset in the divisional playoff by somebody, right? Let's say it's, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a team.
Bears, because they'll probably be a wild card team.
Who's that?
Bears, maybe?
Maybe the Bears upset them, right? And then it's you versus the Bears round 2, right? I don't think anyone is going to be like, oh my gosh, the Bears are going to kill us. No, we gave the game to the Bears.
Yeah.
Right? So, or let's say the Rams get upset by the Seahawks in the postseason in the second round, right? And then the Seahawks have to come to your house. You're not going to Seattle. You're coming to Philadelphia, right? Or what if there's a scenario where not just the Rams get knocked out, but let's say you in the first round, let's say you play the Panthers in the second round. The Panthers can win the division, right?
Yeah.
And the second round, you get past the wild card. Let's say the wild card is, I don't know, the 49ers. And the 49ers, Brock Purdy throws 3 interceptions because he's tended to do that at times. And in the second round, it's you versus the Panthers. I mean, am I supposed to think we're going to not beat the Panthers? Like, of course I think they can beat the Panthers. So I think that it's not that I can't see them, not that I think Jeff from Ocean City is wrong, but I think what Jeff from Ocean City is forgetting is that styles make fights. And if you play the right team at the right time, the right situation, you can win. You can put them down.
I need this team to get through the regular season first. This division's not wrapped up yet. And all right, Jaden Daniels being out, I presume the rest of the year they'd be foolish to throw him back out on the field.
There's speculation they might try to throw him back out there again.
Then that's why Washington's they had one lightning in the bottle year last year, and then they're just never going to be relevant again ever. Like, that's just so idiotic of you. Like, a clean house needs to happen if that ends up happening. But you were probably going to split those two games with Jaden Daniels. Without Jaden Daniels, you should sweep that. You beat the Raiders tomorrow, and then maybe you beat the Bills on the road, which is going to be a tough task. But then you get this division. If not, Dallas is right there, and Dallas has a much easier end to the road than we do. You got to get through this first, and then you worry about the playoffs because you got to get there.
He's Alex Berardis. I'm Josh Hennig, hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Coming up, we're going to be talking more fantasy football. Andy McNamara, by the way, big news. We have finally been confirmed. Phillip Rivers is starting. Yes, it is going to happen. We are going to get into what that means for fantasy football and more with Andy McNamara on the other side. Don't forget, Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN is being brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook, the only sportsbook app offering you Caesars Rewards. Bet on all the college pro gridiron action, earn perks on every game, like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app, use my promo code RADIO250BM. Get your first bet matched as a bonus bet up to $250 whether you win or lose. Open to new users in New Jersey who are 21 or older. Minimum odds minus 500. Awarded as a non-withdrawable bonus bet that expires 14 days after receipt. Bonus bet amount not returned for winning bets. Void where prohibited. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Coming up next, Phillip Rivers, J.J. McCarthy, Brady Cook, and more. What do you do if you're or do you have Justin Herbert? What do you do if you have a fantasy football quarterback and you're in the postseason? Well, ask Andy McNamara coming up next here on 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle City and streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio.
It's Philadelphia Flyers hockey tonight on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app. Listen as Tim Saunders and Todd Fedork bring you all the exciting play-by-play action.
To the 20 score! And Matvey Mitkov does it again.
It's Flyers Hurricane tonight. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. on South Jersey's radio home for Philadelphia Flyers hockey. 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
Get ready to level up your game day at Tropicana Atlantic City. Introducing Gridiron Pit, powered by Caesars Sportsbook, a high-energy fan zone where blackjack meets big screens, bold bites, and big wins. Play your hand, catch every snap, indulge in tailgate-inspired food and drinks, and spin the big wheel of prizes. Every Saturday and Sunday throughout football season, Gridiron Pit, where the thrill of the game meets the rush of the table. Located near the cashier cage, learn more at Caesars.com. Must be 21 or older. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Making your home look brand new is what Work of Art Construction can do for you. Ready to remodel your bathroom or have a kitchen makeover? Art Masker has 40 years of experience in construction and knows how to make your home look like a work of art. Want to install a new back deck or invest in a new front door? Just call Art Masker at 609-788-4271 to learn more. Visit Work of Art Construction on Instagram to see how Work of Art Construction can make your home look brand new. Beautify your home with Work of Art. Call him at 609-788-4271 and let them make your home truly a work of art.
You don't want to miss final year-end pricing. Now at RK Kia of Vineland. Brand new Kias, $199 a month. $199. Lease new 26 Kia K4 LXs from just $199 a month. $199 for 24 months. New front-wheel drive 26 Kia Sorento S, just $388 a month. $388. Final year-end pricing at RK Kia of Vineland. Need credit? We work with all types of credit situations. Plus, you get RK coverage, no charge. Ding repair, tire repair, wheel repair, windshield repair, and more. No charge. You don't want to miss final year-end pricing. Our lowest prices of the year. Brand new Kias, $199 a month. During the Kia Season of New Traditions sales event. RK Kia of Vineland. RK does it right. MyRKKia.com. MyRKKia.com.
To qualified buyers, plus tax and title. For details, call 856-641-1111 or MyRKKia.com.
Thanks to Total Wine, you saved more on all the gifts for the ones you adore. Wine, spirits, beers, all nestled on shelves. Got some advice from our helpful elves. Oh, so many gifts to explore when you go to Total Wine and more. Bottles so delightful, whoa. Priced so amazingly low.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Whether you're gifting, decorating, or treating yourself, Lowe's December deal drops are here to help you save more all month long. Get up to 50% off select holiday decor. Plus, get up to 45% off select tools and accessories. Shop new December deal drops every week this month and get so much more out of your holidays. Lowe's, we help, you save. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
May I help you? I just wanted to request a late checkout, please.
Of course. That's $30 per hour for up to 4 hours.
Huh. Okay, but if you can offer a late checkout, then that probably means no one is staying in that room. So if it's empty, maybe I can just stay a few extra hours.
Oh, aren't you adorable?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Hi, I'm Chef Franklin Becker. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
With GMF financing to qualify buyers excludes Traverse and Corvette excludes prior sales.
If you're looking for a new or pre-owned vehicle, get to Bennett Chevrolet now during our year-end blowout and save up to 20% off that new vehicle you've been dreaming of. Yes, Bennett is selling new vehicles at true GM supplier employee prices. Plus, you keep all the rebates, saving you as much as 20% off any new vehicle purchase. And with Bennett's available 0% financing, you'll save even more. Looking for pre-owned? Bennett's got a great selection. And we'll give you a minimum $10,000, no matter how bad your trade-in's condition. Yep, I said a minimum 10 grand for any piece of junk you bring us, however you bring it. Imagine how much more Bennett pays for good trades. And whether you're looking for new or pre-owned, there's never any hassles, never any haggles, and never any sales pressure. Because our sales staff is paid based on your satisfaction, not how much you spend. Together, let's drive. Bennett Chevy, Egg Harbor Township, and BennettChevy.com.
Right now at the Home Depot, shop appliance savings and get up to 40% off select appliances like Samsung. Upgrade your kitchen with the Samsung Bespoke 4-door refrigerator. Now featuring the dual auto ice maker with Sphere Ice, only at the Home Depot. You'll have perfectly chilled drinks for every gathering. Shop appliance savings now at the Home Depot. Offer valid December 11th through January 1st. U.S. only. See store online for details.
Caesars Sportsbook app is the only sportsbook app with Caesars rewards. Bet on gridiron action and earn perks on every game like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code RADIO20X and place your first bet of $1 or more for a chance to double your winnings on your next 20 bets. Open new users in New Jersey who are 21 or older. Max bet at $25 for boosted winnings. Max additional winnings $2,500 per bet. Profit boost tokens expire 14 days after receipt. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You're hanging with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
I want my picks back
I want David Putney.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
All my picks back, and I want David Putney just because I feel like it.
You're out of your mind.
Yeah, I am. Haven't I proved that already?
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig back here on 97.3 ESPN. You know what time it is. We do this each and every Saturday on the show. Andy McNamara joins us because it is not just NFL Week 15. It is not just the fantasy football playoffs, but it is quarterback roulette, baby. We got all the quarterbacks, and half of them are no good for your fantasy team. Oh. Andy McNamara is joining us right now here on 97.3 ESPN. Andy, which is odd to say considering as a Browns fan, you have a lot of experience with poor quarterbacks, but you actually have a functional one now. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's shocking. I still don't fully believe it. This will be a nice test for Shedeur Sanders after becoming Rookie of the Week, Offensive Rookie of the Week in a loss. And, now we get to see a bit of a better performance. His two best games, and he's only played 12 full quarters. I've been against the Raiders and the Titans, two terrible teams. Now you're facing a Bears team that has something to play for. Aggressive, going to be cold. I'm hearing that wind chill is going to be like nasty. So what does it look like, right? Really, at this point, Josh, what I want to see out of the Browns, I'm fine with them losing. I want Myles Garrett to break the sack record in 16 games, and I want Shedeur Sanders to keep getting better. You give me that, keep losing, and get me a higher draft pick so maybe I can get Mendoza. Or trade it, if Shedeur's the real deal, trade it for a haul and then rebuild the rest of this team.
Yeah, we'll see what the Browns actually do and don't do now that Paul Podesta is not lording over the process. Maybe that's the key to all the problems. Get rid of that guy. But anyway, let's get to fantasy football because we got some interesting conundrums for people right now. So here's what I want to start with, because here in Philadelphia, the Eagles have lost 3 straight. But Andy, the defense had a season high hits, pressures, and sacks on Justin Herbert. Now, going into the fantasy football playoffs, there's a lot of people who have Justin Herbert on their rosters. So what is Andy McNamara telling people? What about Herbert? What do you do with a guy who just got wrecked by the Eagles defense? Is he still a viable fantasy starter?
Well, first of all, I'd say the Eagles defense, and people like sort of scoff, DST or kickers, whatever, that can win you championships, folks. Okay? Plain and simple. I've won a championship off like a 19-point defensive performance. So, by the way, Eagles top defensive play in all of fantasy football against the Raiders this week, who have 0 offensive line. That's number 1. Now we see Chargers against the Chiefs. Chiefs on life support. And they're 6-point favorites at home. Like, I don't love the play of Justin Herbert. However, Josh, it might come down to, let's see here. Do you want Justin Herbert or do you want to play, Brady Cook of the Jets? Or maybe if Grandpa Phil Rivers suits up, 44-year-old Philip Rivers. You want that? Maybe I'll take a chance and roll the dice with Justin Herbert. I honestly probably would say Marcus Mariota, for me, would be a better play than Herbert this week. Be based on opponent.
I think that's what it comes down to. This is all opponent-based for a lot of people. Like, I've gotten to the point in fantasy football where it's like, I almost won't pick up guys if I know they have bad matchups coming up. Like, if I'm on the waiver wire, right? Because if you're going to especially if you're in one of those leagues where you have like a budget and who you can add, like, you don't want to waste your budget on a guy who's only going to be functional for 1 week.
Right, unless that week is a must-win to get into the playoffs or some situation. But ideally, you're right. And now it's playoff time, so it's like, well, sometimes it might be like, okay, do I need this guy to advance a week and then worry about it later? You got to win, right? Depending on the league.
Right, and the other part of it is, we're talking with Andy McNamara, of course, the host of the Sick Podcast. Like, subscribe, and download wherever you get your podcast. Don't forget the Sunday show, live 10 a.m. Sunday mornings. We saw Kyle Pitts on Thursday night have the best game of the season. The dude had 1 touchdown all year. And I looked up this stat. I got this stat just for you, Andy, because I know you love these oddities that really show how much of a bleep shoot fantasy football can be. And so I was very curious because there were people who were doing some trash talking in one of my fantasy leagues, and I went and found the stat so I would be, so I would know. You know what I mean?
Sure.
because sometimes people like to say things. And did you know that before, not just the game that we're talking about Thursday night, the last two games have actually both been good for Kyle Pitts. But did Andy McNamara know that before that game, Kyle Pitts had been averaging 45 yards receiving a game and 6 targets a game in the first 12 games? If anyone ever wondered how hot and cold fantasy football can be and how impactful the quarterback, Andy, can be.
Boy, Kirk Cousins. You got people make fun, you like that guy? All right, well, if we did like that if you're a Kyle Pitts owner. Now, I wonder, though, how many people actually started Kyle Pitts? I started my season with Kyle Pitts on my roster as a late pick, and once again, I was like, Kyle Pitts, you hosed me again. Dropped him with pleasure many weeks ago, and then he randomly goes off. So, depends. Like, there's probably somebody out there, Josh, probably a few people, who are like, oh, no, my tight end's injured. Oh, Kyle Pitts at tight, fine. We'll get and he's going to win that week. That's what's so wild.
But that's the thing, which is, don't be the person who now runs to the waiver wire or define Kyle Pitts because he had one monster game. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Classic. I think of Brandon Cook syndrome, where classic. He'd go for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns one week and do 0 for a month. And then by the time you play him for the month, then you bench him and he has another 200-yard game.
Right.
It drives you crazy. You can't rely on him. Could it be the start of something? I really doubt it. I'm just pure football wise. What's happened with the Buccaneers? And I'll tell you, Josh. I'll tell you right now. I've seen this before, and I've said on my show, and I'm saying on your show. Baker Mayfield's left shoulder. I saw this in 2021 with the Browns. Didn't get it fixed. Had a harness thing on it. Had to try to play through because he's got moxie and guts. And I love my Baker.
Sure.
Wasn't right in 2021 after that shoulder injury, and that caused his exodus and screw job from the Browns organization on him to get out. We haven't recovered. That's the same thing. As soon as I saw that, I was like, we're going to see the same thing, and we're seeing the same decline. And you might look and say, okay, he's making most. He's not the same. And it's gone through it, which is so frustrating. It's like, God, you've gone through this. So I guess it's tricky because this late in the season, what do you do? But the Carolina Panthers, Josh, are in play to win the division. I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
But that's also an example of why fantasy football is different than real football, as you talk about, Andy, because I think Baker still has a ton of value in fantasy football.
Yes.
But in real world football, I don't know if they're going to win the division now because that defense looks like you and I could run through it at this point.
Well, yeah, and I'll tell you this too. How about Bryce Young? And I'm not a Bryce Young guy, still am not. But Bryce Young, last 2 games where he's been fully healthy, he's put over 20 fantasy points. Would I rather a Bryce Young this week? You mentioned Justin Herbert. Would I rather a Bryce Young against the Saints? I would say yes.
I think the other, really quick, I think the other quarterback that we have to touch on really quick is the enigma of all enigmas. It's the 2 quarterbacks that are connected to one man, KOC, the Sam Darnold and J.J. McCarthy effect, because you have 2 quarterbacks who have been. There are not many quarterbacks more boom or bust than those 2 this season in terms of fantasy football.
Yeah. Oh, you're absolutely right. And I would still and I know people are going to say, Andy, the Dallas Cowboys have given up the most fantasy points to quarterbacks this year. The most. That leads you to think, okay, that should be a great game for J.J. McCarthy coming off of a 3-touchdown performance. Perhaps. But he put up 2 absolute stinkers before then and was average before. Way too up and down for my liking. If you're telling me my fantasy season relies on J.J. McCarthy, I'd much rather take a chance on Marcus Mariota or a Bryce Young. Happily. And I will happily miss out on a 20-plus point day for J.J. McCarthy rather than the absolute dud that could pop up. So I'm not interested in J.J. McCarthy. If anyone's interested, he's available in about 68% of Yahoo leagues.
Andy McNamara joining us for our fantasy football conversation here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM, streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studios. Andy, you mentioned about the Eagles and the Raiders earlier. You mentioned about the defense. What about the Eagles' offense? Is this a game? Now, look, let's be realistic. Aside from A.J. Brown, the Eagles' offense has been very boom or bust in fantasy. And you got a lot of people in the postseason now, right?
Yeah.
Every league has the different rules, but one of those rules in most leagues is you can't make trades, right? Sometimes they lock the waiver wire, right? Sometimes there's locks, in my one. So I'm in 3 leagues. One of my 3 leagues, I didn't make the postseason. The other 2 I did. But the one I didn't make the postseason, they have locked out the non-playoff teams from the waiver wire.
Smart. Otherwise, people just cause chaos. Yep.
Right.
Makes sense.
Now, of course, it would be funny if they told us all dump our good players and add only bad players, and then make the waiver pool really hilarious.
Wow.
But that's something I did in our league a few years ago, if you remember that, Andy.
I forget that one. That'd be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. But still, so like for people who maybe have Devonta Smith, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley, right? These are all marquee names who were drafted, maybe even Jalen Hurts to an extent. Are the Raiders bad enough to get the Eagles' offense right?
Magic elixir, okay? The old snake oil salesman from the Wild West days getting off the wagon and pitching stuff and has a shiny little snake oil. Yes. Load up your Eagles. Why? My Browns destroyed them. Their offensive line is garbage. Play the Eagles defense. Play Jalen Hurts. I know. The weird 2 turnovers at 1 play, 4 interceptions. You can't have a worse game. All right? Well, let's look before then. Well, 2 weeks before, 17.3 and 30.8 fantasy points. Couple down ones before. I'm not saying he's my first pick, but I would feel comfortable with him. A.J. Brown. I'll rank who we're playing on. A.J. Brown and Saquon Barkley. Barkley ahead of him because of positional scarcity. You got to play Barkley. A.J. Brown. I'm putting Dallas Goedert above Devonta Smith. Super inconsistent the last few weeks, but got 10 targets, 8 catches. Guys, the Raiders defense, they got Max Crosby. That's it. It's over. And I think 1 safety or something. Don't worry. I would say Dallas Goedert above Devonta Smith, but load up on your Eagles. This is a team that still has Super Bowl aspirations. This is a team that was embarrassed. This is a team that wants to send a message. And if you want to send a message, and it's against a bad team, and they're at home, this is going to be a feast. Just load up. And if I didn't have to say it before, if your name's not Ashton Gienti, stay away from every single Raider on the planet.
And let's get to a few more before we let you go. We mentioned in passing about the old man coming back. And, it's one of those curiosities, which is I see a lot of people commenting about the moment he gets hit, he's going to die, and I feel like that's more hyperbole than it is reality because Phillip Rivers, if he can still get the ball out of his hands quickly, which was the strength of his game when he played, right? Yeah. And according to all reports, he's throwing pretty well at practice. They were, the joke was that he was the best quarterback in the bubble at Colts practice this week, which is either a major indictment of the Colts or says a lot about the state of quarterback today. But, what does it do to the NFL if Phillip Rivers comes out as a competent game? Not a great game, a competent game. Like I don't know, 17 for 30, 198 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interception kind of game.
That's the type of game that you want. You love if you're a Colts fan. And what it says is that, look, you have these competent quarterbacks, drop back, precision, technically sound still, mental. I think to Peyton Manning's last year, that guy's arm was toast. He was throwing ducks all over the place. Cerebral. So smart. Knows what's going to happen before. Student of the game. He figures that out. You don't have to have the biggest arm talent in the world if you can place the ball. Now, of course, the question is, you're coming in off of we're not talking Joe Flacco off the couch for a few months. We're talking 4 years, technically a grandfather, and 44 years old, which I'm 44. And I don't feel like an old man, but I'm not going to be suiting up for the Colts this week. All right.
No.
So it's I would say this, the strategy is probably going to be, they're going to want to give it to Jonathan Taylor early and often. You're playing Jonathan Taylor anyway, but if there's any hesitation, you're playing him in your fantasy league, obviously. So Phillip Rivers is going to have to make plays. They're going to be selling out, I would think, to stop Jonathan Taylor.
Right.
And say, we'll take our chances and let 44-year-old Phil Rivers beat us, not Jonathan Taylor. So I think this is going to be an absolutely fascinating game. I would heavily fade anybody not named Jonathan Taylor. If you can go in a different direction from a Michael Pittman or an Alec Pierce, I would. You might not be able to, but I would. And one quick side note to point out, if CeeDee Lamb does not go, or if his health is on the question, Ryan Flournoy, money pickup. I called it earlier in the year when the same thing happened. The guy popped. Could happen again. Now you got to track it, because if CeeDee Lamb's not on the field, they bump this dude right up, and he is a PPR sensation. So keep an eye on that as a side note. But otherwise, Josh, I'm for the Colts. If you're not Jonathan Taylor, I'm going to try to go in a different way.
I'm glad you mentioned the Alec Pierce conundrum, because I see in a lot of fantasy leagues he's projected to get a good number.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, he's actually projected. Now, we know about projections. Projections are, it's a guesstimation, basically.
Yeah. Based on whatever, yeah.
Right. But it's like he's projected to get better points than Romeo Doubs and Jerry Jeudy. And it's like, is he really that much better? Like, is his? It's not like his matchup is that much better than those guys. I mean, Seattle's a good defense.
Absolutely.
The Broncos are a good defense, and you're telling me that Jerry Jeudy's going to have fewer points than both of those guys? Like, that's where I'm trying to figure out, like, I'm trying to explain to people, not me, I'm trying to explain to people that, like, you can't be a slave to those projection numbers.
No. And especially, it clearly has not taken into account yet the quarterback situation. Now, those projection numbers can change as well. So maybe that gets adjusted. Who knows? Right now, though. Now, if you're telling me I got a healthy Daniel Jones, I like Alec Pierce. I'm seeing 9.8 fantasy points, and in the last 2 weeks, 17.8 fantasy points and a touchdown. I would take that. And I probably would play him over Jerry Jeudy right now, because Shedeur Sanders' top target is Harold Fannin Jr., also a must start for the Browns this week, even in the cold weather. And load yourself up some Quinshon Judkins. It's going to be, I think, a run fest here, man. Whew. But
by the way, can I just say, if people didn't already have Judkins on their team, they missed the boat.
Oh yeah, like if they don't have him on their team.
Right, if you're someone who didn't invest in him early on, is what I'm saying.
If you didn't have a chance because he was not signed because of legal trouble that got waived, and now he's not that far away from 1,000 yards either. He's like pretty close to
very
getting
close.
that. And it's, again, cold weather, young quarterback. You're going to want to run the ball, right? And you're going to want to get the touches. So Quinshon for the Bears, DeAndre Swift for sure. And maybe both. Like, I'm thinking maybe Montague too. Like, both have had a chance to eat. I question it, though, because the Browns' run defense was embarrassed last week, and Jim Schwartz doesn't get embarrassed 2 weeks in a row. So I think, in general, set your fantasy expectations for that Chicago-Cleveland game a little bit lower.
How many games till Garrett breaks the record?
Okay, so he's at 20 right now. He needs 3 to break the record.
He does.
I'm hoping he gets. The thing is, the Bears run the ball some of the most in the league. So, like, really, the strategy last week, he only got 1, and the problem was they went obviously too focused on trying to get Miles the sack record, and they ran Tony Pollard down your throat.
Right.
Never thought we'd say that. He hasn't done anything all year, right? So they're going to be focused on that. So the key is you have to put the Bears in throwing situations, 3rd and long, get up by a score quick, because if they can run the ball on you, Miles is going to get maybe 1 sack. So I'm hoping. I hope, of course, he breaks it in this game. But if he doesn't, do it at home against Pittsburgh with T.J. Watt, his arch rival, having to watch. Ooh, give me that on a spoon, Josh. That'd be delicious. Oh,
I will say, though, as a side note, even though he is a Steeler, I know it cringes you, but thoughts and prayers to T.J. Watt.
Absolutely.
It's Tyrod Taylor 2.0, where they missed the spot, they hit the lung with the stupid needle. Like, first of all, how are you working for an NFL? This is $1 billion company, right?
How do you miss? And yes, in all seriousness, absolutely. Prayer for T.J. Watt. It's football. People for good, and look, anyone would take T.J. Watt on their team. Great, hardworking family and player, 100%. However, he is a bit smug towards Miles and has a chip on his shoulder. So I want Miles to break his record in front of him. I don't care if he's on the field or not. Right? I hope he gets better, but I also hope he is watching as Myles Garrett beats that record because he's had a monster season. It would be a tragedy if he doesn't break the record. And Josh, he has to do it in 16 games. Watt did it in 17. He has to do it in 16 to beat Strahan so that there's no asterisks or anything like that.
Yeah, and by the way, for those who don't know, so it's at the Bears this week. Next 2 weeks are home games.
Yeah.
So as long as he can get it by the end of the Steelers game.
Yeah.
Now you're in the 16-game window.
You need to do it in that 16-game window. That's the, to me, that's the absolute key to do it. And again, it comes down to what's the game situation. If the Bears are able to run successfully, Ben Johnson has shown he'll run it all day. There's no problem.
He doesn't care.
He
don't care.
No, and it's cold. So it's advantageous to do that. Right? So you got to bake 3rd and long. You have to have the defense go and get up by a score early. You got to be scoring. You got to be doing that. So I'm really interested to see what this game is. That could be a bit of a trap game for Chicago because they got Green Bay again coming up the next week, who they just lost to, and the Browns just sort of seeing what they're getting out of Shedeur. So I think it'll be a more interesting game than people might think.
At AndyMC81 is on the Twitter X platform. AndyMC Sports on Instagram. The Sick Podcast. Andy, what you got going on Sunday morning at 10 a.m.?
Oh, baby. It is live, and we go over all these fantasy football scenarios. We'll have up-to-date injury reports, who's in, who's out, and you jump in the chat. Love when we get the 97.3 listeners in there as well, jumping in the chat and asking the fantasy questions, asking the betting questions, and not just asking, but throwing in your own bets, throwing in your own fantasy plays, whatever. We'll tee up, of course, Bears, Browns, and have the Parlay Party Ultimate NFL betting ticket and build it up. So more people in the chat, the better. Tons of fun. 10 a.m. Eastern on YouTube, The Sick Podcast with Andy McNamara.
Andy, great stuff today. Appreciate it.
All right, brother. Talk to you soon.
Yeah, man. Myles Garrett, he could break that record. I mean, I don't know if he's going to break it tomorrow because Caleb Williams could run around Alex. But, hey, there's a possibility that, Myles Garrett can – I hope he does break the record. I would love to see a guy like him. I mean, for a guy who's played his entire career on a losing franchise, give the guy something.
Look, I think he's got to do it before Week 18, though. That's the big thing. But I don't feel any bad for Myles Garrett. He had his opportunity to leave, and he took that paycheck, which he could have probably gotten anywhere else.
Maybe, maybe not. I like listen, we as sports fans want our players to be loyal to their teams until we want them on our team.
No, but I could understand, like, Myles Garrett has given his entire career to Cleveland.
Yeah.
They just haven't, at some point, you got to say to the player, like, you got to give the side to the player where it's like, dude, you've done everything you could. They just haven't done anything. That's kind of what we're seeing with Joe Burrow right now, with that whole fiasco.
Well, the whole Joe Burrow thing, I think, is a little weird because Joe Burrow is making it sound like he could just retire.
Yeah, it's sounding Andrew Luck-ish.
Yeah, and I think that's where it's like a little weird because the difference is like Andrew Luck was like he went to Stanford. He was an engineering major. Like he had other interests outside of football. Like what is Joe Burrow going to do if he retires?
He seems like a guy who's just plays video games on his like. I feel like that's.
Well, did you watch the Netflix Quarterback?
Yeah, that's exactly.
He's a single guy who just sits around and watches football and like he goes out and does stuff sometimes, but like he's not like a guy who's like, I have all these things I want to do after football.
I forget what podcast it was, but I heard Andrew Luck talking, and he said he lost that love for the game. That was the main reason he retired.
Yeah.
But now that he's
he's in charge of the football program
at Stanford. Yeah. He now has a completely different love for the game, just in a different
he can channel that in a different direction.
Yeah. Maybe that's what look, he's my favorite player in the NFL.
Burrow?
I love Joe Burrow. I have his LSU Burrow spelled like the Bayou way that he wore on senior night. I have his jersey. I would hate to see him go, but I'd like to see him out of Cincinnati shake things up.
We'll see. Hanging with Hennig here on 97.3 ESPN. He's Alex Berardis. I'm Josh Hennig. Don't forget Hanging with Hennig being brought to you by my friends over at Work of Art Construction. Listen, are you ready to have a kitchen makeover, remodel your bathroom, get a brand new back deck, or maybe you just need to install a new front door with new front windows? Well, call Art Masker at 609-788-4271 and learn about how Work of Art Construction make your home look brand new. You can save 10% off when you tell Art Masker that you heard about him with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Call him at 609-788-4271 to save 10% off your next home project. Let them make your home truly a work of art. That's Work of Art Construction at 609-788-4271. And they help bring you Hanging with Hennig here on 97.3 ESPN. Coming up, we'll wrap up the hour. Plus, I love this text message from Joey D. in Ventnor. We will get to that and more coming up next here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM and streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio.
Ryan Radke here from Sunday Night Football on Westwood One. Mike Golick and I are in Dallas for primetime action between the Cowboys and the Vikings. Dak Prescott and the boys are coming off a tough loss to the Lions that put their playoff hopes on life support. Now Minnesota comes in after a big shutout win over Washington. Join us for the Vikings at the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football.
Listen to Sunday Night Football. Coverage begins at 8 p.m. on 97.3 ESPN.
Yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora is your destination for good food, great vibes, and every Eagles game with the sound on. Catch their special Birds Game Day food and drink specials every weekend. Plus, you can watch all the college football bowl games on their plethora of TVs, along with every Sixers and Flyers game for all you Philly sports fans. Don't miss out on yesterday's nightly food specials starting at 5 p.m. Monday through Thursday, along with reverse happy hour specials 9 p.m. to close each week. So call your friends and catch all the games at the Y. Yesterday's Creekside Tavern on Roosevelt Boulevard in Marmora. Follow them on Instagram and Facebook for more information about upcoming events and food specials.
Listen up. The soap you shower with? It's you probably haven't even questioned what bar of soap you lather up with. Let's face it, most guys don't. But now you can upgrade your shower game with Dr. Squatch Natural Soap. I'm talking about natural, nourishing, cold-pressed, hand-cut soap for men. Men who use their hands. Men who build things. Men who catch foul balls without spilling their beer. You won't just smell good either. Your skin will be healthier and more nourished. We make our soaps with natural ingredients from the earth. Ingredients like oils, plants, goat's milk, Greek yogurt, oatmeal, shea butter, and citrus. Turn your shower game up to 11. Get ready to step out of the shower feeling alive.
Hey, this is Josh Hennig. Go to my social media and click my exclusive Dr. Squatch link for your chance to save $10 off your next order of great natural soap, deodorant, and much more. Only with Dr. Squatch.
Hi, this is Paul. Welcome to Circle Hyundai.
In our community, every child deserves to be supported, safe, and loved.
Here at Circle Hyundai, giving back is part of who we are. This December, Circle Hyundai will be donating a portion of the proceeds to We Are Loved, located here in Shrewsbury.
Thank you so much, Paul and Circle Hyundai, for bringing light to the journey of children in foster care.
Don't forget about 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe Calligraphy All-Wheel Drive. And don't forget about the local foster children.
Merry Christmas from Circle Hyundai.
You could think you found your dream home online. The kitchen island looks perfect for your inner chef. The backyard, a paradise for your green thumb. And that extra room, hello walk-in closet. But here's the twist. The lot next door just got rezoned for years of construction. And this sound, yeah, you're gonna be hearing a lot of that. Don't let your dream home turn into a nightmare. Work with the expertise and ethical training of a Realtor, here to guide and help protect you from the surprises you didn't see coming. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors, right by you.
The countdown is on, because diamonds are lighting up the holidays at Robert's Fine Jewelers. December 11th through the 14th only. 4 days to save big on diamond studs, diamond necklaces, diamond tennis bracelets, diamond rings, gemstone jewelry, and so much more. If it sparkles, it's on sale. This is the holiday event you've been waiting for to finish checking off those wish lists. Make this the biggest holiday ever at Robert's Fine Jewelers at the Plaza at Center Point in Northfield, December 11th through the 14th. Robert's Fine Jewelers, where your holiday sparkles. Online at robertsfinejewelers.com.
Whether you're gifting, decorating, or treating yourself, Lowe's December deal drops are here to help you save more all month long. Get up to 50% off select holiday decor. Plus, get up to 45% off select tools and accessories. Shop new December deal drops every week this month and get so much more out of your holidays. Lowe's, we help, you save. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
you don't want to miss. Final year-end pricing. Now at RK Kia of Vineland. Brand new Kias, $199 a month. $199. Lease new 26 Kia K4 LXs from just $199 a month. $199 for 24 months. New front-wheel drive 26 Kia Sorento S, just $388 a month. $388. Final year-end pricing at RK Kia of Vineland. Need credit? We work with all types of credit situations. Plus, you get RK coverage, no charge. Ding repair, tire repair, wheel repair, windshield repair, and more. No charge. You don't want to miss final year-end pricing. Our lowest prices of the year. Brand new Kias, $199 a month. During the Kia Season of New Traditions sales event. RK Kia of Vineland. RK does it right. MyRKKia.com. MyRKKia.com.
To qualified buyers, plus tax and title. For details, call 856-641-1111 or MyRKKia.com.
With appliance savings at the Home Depot, get up to 40% off select innovative appliances like GE Profile. Add a touch of ease to your holiday with the all-in-one combo to wash and dry your laundry in one machine. And refrigerators with built-in convenient features like the dual dispense autofill water pitcher. Shop appliance savings on select appliances at the Home Depot. Offer valid December 11th through January 1st. U.S. only. See store online for details.
Caesars Sportsbook app is the only sportsbook app with Caesars rewards. Bet on gridiron action and earn perks on every game like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code RADIO20X and place your first bet of $1 or more for a chance to double your winnings on your next 20 bets. Open to new users in New Jersey who are 21 or older. Max bet at $25 for boosted winnings. Max additional winnings $2,500 per bet. Profit boost tokens expire 14 days after receipt. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You're hanging with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
People will come, Ray.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
People will most definitely come.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig back here, wrapping up the second hour of Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN alongside Alex Berardis here in the 97.3 studios. I got to read Joey Diamentner's text before we hit the break because I appreciate this text. He says, Santa Josh, which I don't know if I'm jolly enough for be Santa, but I appreciate the thought. He says, last season, Jalen Hurts was elite at checking and changing plays at the line of scrimmage. This year, the Eagles get to the line with 5 seconds left, barely, it feels like. I think that's a problem related to the inexperienced coaching, and it's a bad look for the Eagles, says Joey Diamentner. I think that's an amazing point he brings up because this is where the coaching does impact the game. The coach is not putting the player in a position to be successful. It's not a coincidence that of the 10 different people who have been in Jalen Hurts' ear from college to now, right, all different coordinators, that guess what? He has only been successful with 3 of them. Does it mean he stinks? No. It just means that you got to have the right coach in your ear to get the most out of Jalen Hurts.
I do want to talk about this a little bit when we come back from the break, but the whole lack of the cute design quarterback run I think is interesting. And I want to get into a little bit whether we think it's they're just not calling the plays or Jalen Hurts is telling them do not call those plays.
You might not like my answer.
Yeah, well, we'll just have to wait.
That and more still to come. We got more texts as well, 609-403-0973. We got people watching on YouTube and X at Josh Hennig. And, of course, we are hanging with you one more hour. Speaking of quarterbacks, still to come, Tony Banks, Super Bowl champion, 10-year NFL veteran quarterback. He will join us coming up in the next hour as well. We'll dig into his thoughts on Jalen Hurts and the Eagles here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN.
This is the radio home for Philadelphia Eagles football. The Eagles continue the 2025 season tomorrow, hosting the Las Vegas Raiders.
Hurts with a quick pitch out to Barkley. He has the first down and more. 40, 30, 20, 10, touchdown! Saquon Barkley!
Pre-game coverage starts at noon with Merrill Reese and Mike Quick calling all the action starting at 1 p.m. This is where the Eagles play. 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's Eagles station.
Tired of cooking and planning all of your meals each and every day? You need Prevail Nutrition to simplify your life. For almost a decade, Prevail Nutrition is a local meal prep company located in South Jersey that allows customers to design their own meal plan. or you can choose from a wide variety of chef-designed meals on their weekly changing Prevail Selects menu. You can order online for pickup or get free delivery on orders of over $50. Prevail Nutrition delivers to Atlantic and Cumberland counties along with Ocean City, or you can pick up your meals every Monday and Friday. Learn more about how Prevail Nutrition can simplify your life. Visit their website at prevailnutrition.club. Check out Prevail Nutrition on Facebook and Instagram. Prevail Nutrition is my go-to choice for prepared meals and food. Order online, like me, at prevailnutrition.club.
GMF financing to qualify buyers excludes Traverse and Corvette, excludes prior sales.
If you're looking for a new or pre-owned vehicle, get to Bennett Chevrolet now during our year-end blowout and save up to 20% off that new vehicle you've been dreaming of. Yes, Bennett is selling new vehicles at true GM supplier employee prices. Plus, you keep all the rebates, saving you as much as 20% off any new vehicle purchase. And with Bennett's available 0% financing, you'll save even more. Looking for pre-owned? Bennett's got a great selection, and we'll give you a minimum $10,000, no matter how bad your trade-in's condition. Yep, I said a minimum 10 grand for any piece of junk you bring us, however you bring it. Imagine how much more Bennett pays for good trades. And whether you're looking for new or pre-owned, there's never any hassles, never any haggles, and never any sales pressure, because our sales staff is paid based on your satisfaction, not how much you spend. Together, let's drive. Bennett Chevy, Egg Harbor Township, and BennettChevy.com.
It's the merriest time of the year, with the roller coaster swelling and your kids telling you we want Maury's Pier. 'Tis Maury's Pier's biggest sale of the year. Save 25%. Visit Maury'sPiers.com.
Looking to lower your energy bills and boost home comfort? South Jersey Gas has you covered with a no-cost in-home, whole-home energy assessment. Our energy expert will review your home's energy efficiency and provide a personalized report of energy-saving improvements. Plus, you may also receive energy-efficient upgrades like faucet aerators, smart power strips, and LED light bulbs at no cost to you. Don't wait to save money and energy. Schedule your whole home energy assessment today at sjgsaveenergy.com or call 201-690-7897 today.
The Piccalilli Polar Pavilion is open. Cozy up with heated igloos for 6, s'mores by the fire, and a special menu of fresh-made cocktails and tasty treats you'll only find in the Pines. See the newly renovated main building and gift shop full of Piccalilli presents for under the tree. The original Piccalilli Inn, Route 206, Chemung, New Jersey. Order now at piccalilli.com.
If you can't stop in, stop back. The Piccalilli Inn.
Home of the Philadelphia Eagles.
They've got him, it's a sack!
Sixers.
Oh, baby!
And Flyers.
He scored!
97.3 ESPN. WENJ. WENJ HD. Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey.
Finally!
This is Hanging with Hennig.
I have friends everywhere.
On 97.3 ESPN Radio, South Jersey.
In New Jersey. Am I right? Yeah.
Live feed on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
It seems to run on some form of electricity. Well, you're not wrong.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together.
Now, here's your host.
He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Josh Hennig.
Hang with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Hour 3, we continue the football conversation. Josh Hennig joined by Alex Berardis here in the 97.3 ESPN studios. Don't forget, we will be back on the road the next 2 weeks. Hanging with Hennig. Next Saturday, we will be live at yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora for an Eagles pregame show leading up to the Eagles watch party. Come on out and hang out with us next Saturday at yesterday's in Marmora. We will be giving away a Jalen Carter jersey at halftime of the Eagles game next Saturday, along with other prizes. So we are excited to be doing that. And of course, the week after that, we'll be at the Gridiron Pit in Tropicana, Atlantic City. So the next 2 weeks, we will be back on the road again for Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Still to come in about less than 25 minutes from now, we will talk with Super Bowl champion quarterback and 10-year NFL veteran Tony Banks. Will get his thoughts on the quarterback position because, Alex, as we talked about before the break, the text from Joey D. in Ventnor, it's the idea that maybe we don't always realistically factor in how much the quarterback and the coach matters in these conversations. And I think that kind of goes back to what is the real reason why, right? What is the real reason why the Eagles have a 3-game losing streak? Well, it's the offense. It's not the defense. And I think that is where, for a lot of people, that's why there is a level of hope. There is a level of, hey, they can figure this out. It is not all doom and gloom. And as Dan Orlovsky said earlier this week on Unsportsmanlike, heard here on 97.3 ESPN, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. with Evan Cohen, Michelle Smallman, and Chris Canty, Dan Orlovsky says there is reason to be optimistic about the Eagles.
I come away from Monday Night Football against Chargers more encouraged about that offense and its potential than I have for the last 2 months. They did way more route combination, way more individual routes that weren't just straight lined, a lot more laterally, more play action. So it wasn't perfect by any means. Would I like them to have a better plan versus pressure and empty? For sure. Was there a shot or two that Jalen, when we call shots, you got to throw them? Absolutely. This offense has had a lot of issues this year. But I do sit there and say, if there's a couple things that they can clean up from Monday night, do I think that they can get back to that complementary piece that is needed to go on a run? I say yes.
So it's not crazy to think that this team can turn it around, Alex. But I think that the problem is, as Joey D. and Ventnor and others have pointed out, it's when you have the coaching that is as messy and complicated as it is, everybody and their cousin. We got people on the YouTube stream saying Eagles need a new offensive coordinator, right? It's the idea that this organization has problems when it comes to the coaching right now. And for as much as I do want to blame the players, right? And the players do deserve a level of blame for some of this. The reality is that the coaches are not putting them in the best position to be successful. And when you're not putting your players in the best position to be successful, you are not winning games. Bill Walsh, the Hall of Fame coach, he made a comment one time where he said the great coaches prioritize the player's success over their own system. And I think the part of the problem sometimes is that Nick Sirianni's offense, right? Well, maybe part of the problem is, as you heard Jalen Hurts say, hey, Sirianni came in and brought some great structure in for us. Why does Sirianni have to bring in structure? Shouldn't that be Kevin Patullo's job? And I think that's why, for a lot of people, they keep going back to the coaching staff, because how can a quarterback be a year removed from being Super Bowl MVP? Was it 2 or 3 years removed from being the runner-up for MVP? 2019, he was the runner-up for the Heisman Trophy. It's not like Hurts has never had success in his career. But it's obvious that certain coaches are able to get the best out of him. Lincoln Riley, Shane Steichen, and Kellen Moore, and others just cannot do it.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts is a quarterback who thrives under a coordinator who works with him and works to his strengths, and kind of drowns a little bit in some cases to when, a coordinator just doesn't go to his strengths. But that's what I brought it up before the break, this whole run game, the quarterback design is just so concerning, interesting, confusing. Like, I really don't know what to call it. Like, it's something that he's been so successful at, something that's brought this team so much success in the past, and we're just seeing none of it now. There's always been the reports they want to keep Jalen healthy. Jalen wants to be healthy. But then there's also the reports where Jalen said, I'll do anything for this team to win. There's a big thing in that right now. It's you, Jalen, using your legs. And I'm a Jalen Hurts defender. I will praise him until his days are done here in Philadelphia. But I got to see you run the ball a little bit. Now, whether that's you going to KP's office telling him, let's get these run plays going, or you just having to take it upon yourself instead of rolling out to the right, looking, then dump it out. Just take off one of these times. See what happens. Make a play. That's what Herbert was doing. This guy had one hand sacked 8 times, 7 or 8 times against a ferocious pass rush, and still on third down was escaping the pocket, making his play, putting his head down, getting that first down. We haven't seen that hunger, that fight, that killer instinct out of Jalen Hurts that we have seen before, and I'm wondering, where has that gone?
Well, I told you before the break, you might not like my answer, but I think the part of the reason why Hurts is not running as much is because of how the offense is being called. Because a lot of these plays are long developing plays. So it forces the quarterback to stay in the pocket and wait for the deep dig, the deep cross, the zigzag route. Whatever the play is, and again, I've watched guys like Kurt Warner on QB Confidential and Nick Foles on the Season podcast, and I've seen guys like Greg Cosell break this down at NFL Films, and a lot of people have broken it down who they do this for a living. Like, this is their world, right? We're just living in it when it comes to this film stuff. And they show that a lot of these routes, they just take so long to develop and just flush out that the quarterback has to stay in the pocket and hold the ball in order to get the pass off. So when you're forcing the quarterback to stay in the pocket longer, Alex, you know what you're doing? He has less opportunities to run. Because if you're telling the quarterback, like, for example, one of the elements that has made Lincoln Riley's offense so successful to the point where it's gotten Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, and Caleb Williams all be number 1 overall picks, as well as guys like Jalen Hurts to be drafted, is a high-functioning element of that offense is option 1, option 2, option 3, run. So, like, you're not sitting there waiting for the routes to develop. You're basically telling the quarterback, look, you got a timer in your head. If your first few options are unavailable, run your bleeping out of the pocket. Like, move. Like, because the whole offense is built on, I have a quarterback who's either going to throw the ball or run the ball. And it's the defense's job to find a way to stop the quarterback. That's the whole Lincoln Riley passing offense. And that's why so many guys have been successful, because now you're taking less responsibility off the quarterback's shoulders and you're placing more of the pressure on the defense to stop either the run of the quarterback or the pass of the quarterback. Now, it's not always successful. Okay, I understand that. It's not a foolproof offense, but instead of giving Jalen Hurts, hey, get the ball out of your hands or run, now you're saying, hold the ball while A.J. Brown takes 10 million years to run his route.
Yeah, we've seen it watching the Chargers game. There was a drive late in the game. Jalen Hurts, three-step drop, bang, out of his hand. And it's moving you down the field. And it's perfect. Look, it's been a problem for Hurts since he's came into the league. He misses guys. He's late on guys.
But also, really quick, he holds the ball the worse the play gets. Like, you think about it. When Justin Herbert holds the ball, something good happens, right?
Yeah.
Okay? Jalen Hurts is at his best when he's making quick decisions. Bang, bang, bang.
It's got to be a 3-step drop, or if you're in shotgun, 1, 2, 3, slant route across the middle, out route, like something. But we talk about this long developing plays. What happened to just a read option, an RPO? Like, if you give Jalen Hurts the read option where he just has to read that edge rusher and just say, Saquon, are you taking it or am I taking it? What happened to that?
Well,
the QB draw is one of the most obvious plays. When they line up in it, I say, Dad, look, QB draw. 9 times out of 10, it's the QB draw on third and 11 and an empty backfield. We need more than just the QB draw.
Well, I hate to let you know, but as Nick Foles explained, the RPO was actually part of the problem for the Eagles. Or shall we say how they were misusing it, shall I call it? This is from Nick Foles on the Season podcast. He specifically points to where the RPO was used and where it didn't work on Monday Night Football.
How many times do they run RPOs? Because they're already throwing slants. Like, we have Saquon Barkley, we have Jalen Hurts, we have a big receiver. Like, I had Alshon Jeffrey and I had Zach Ertz. We did RPOs left and right with them. The last play of the game that was an interception was not a pass play. It was a run-pass option. Backside's run, blocking run. Slot receiver blitzes. He's going to go hot. The read is Khalil Mack. Mack is unblocked. It is a zone read.
He's unblocked
RPO.
on purpose.
He's unblocked on purpose.
Yeah.
So if you don't know, listen.
He's on the quarterback.
We did this with, Doug. I ran a lot of zone read. I had to learn how to do it. And I'm not a zone read guy, but I still was able to do it at a high level. But I also get the perspective of it's been a tough game for Jalen Stoners. He's trying to make a play. I get that. I've done that. So listen, there is a perspective thing. I feel for him. So if you fundamentally read this play, the ball is not even thrown. It's given to Saquon.
So, okay, guess what? We ran the RPO and he didn't execute it properly. And that goes back to the fundamentals issue where it's like, hey, the idea of running the RPO sounds great until the quarterback doesn't execute it properly.
Well, I think in that specific play, because I was pissed when they threw the ball on that game-losing interception because of the circumstances. You just picked up a big first down. Your first, was it first and goal or like first and 10 at like the 15,
it was first and 10.
At like the, 13, 14-yard line?
I have to look up the exact yard line.
Yeah, but it was first and 10. Somewhere around there. Run the ball. It was actually the one time that this running game looked comparable to last year's running game. And your quarterback has thrown 3 interceptions in this game. Run the ball. Like, be simple, stupid. Why are we gotta, like, there was so many risks in that play call. Now, I'm not going to say that's the determining factor in why we won or lost that game because there was obviously a lot of things that went wrong that day. But, again, back to the play calling. Should have just ran the football there. And I think Nick Foles agreed with it there.
Yeah, and I think that, part of the problem as well is that when you're talking about a guy like Nick Foles, you're talking about a guy who is not a mobile quarterback. So, his execution of the offense is different than a mobile quarterback like a Jalen Hurts. I mean, no offense to Nick Foles, but even Carson Wentz was way more athletic than Nick Foles was back
Wentz
in the
in
day.
his prime was an athletic guy.
That's what I mean. So it's like running the RPO for a guy like Nick Foles, for as well as he did run it, is not the same as a guy like Jalen Hurts. So part of the running the RPO, the threat is, as you said, Alex, the quarterback running. So the problem, I think, is it goes back to the fundamentals issue, which is it's the idea that the coach has to install into the quarterback's mind repetition, right? You rep these things at practice during the week. It's the idea that when you have a team that is going to run a certain play, the quarterback has to know this is where you go with it. And if you don't go there with it, we have a problem. And I think for me, that's where I get frustrated with this team because as Nick Foles says, there is an issue when it comes to this offense that the fact we're talking about this in week 15 of the NFL is so exhausting to me.
Their biggest issue is fundamentals. And you're like, wait, what? I don't see, and what I mean about fundamentals, I'm watching the game, timing and rhythm off. Mm-hmm. The big plays are happening on scrambles or late adjustments where it's a slant route and A.J. Brown goes like a slant go, drops the ball. Jalen finds him, throws a good ball. There was drops. So fundamentals, we're dropping too many passes with our big receivers. Like, they got to make those plays. They know that too.
So it's like, this is a guy who played in the league. And he's not the only one saying this, Alex, that there are fundamental issues. There are execution issues. There are drops. There are people not doing the small things, right? And now it's turning into where, for example, if A.J. Brown catches that one touchdown pass and they win the game, right, against the Chargers on Monday Night Football,
we're not talking about
any of this. So it's like, hey, A.J., you cried and complained for weeks about the offense and your role and da-da-da-da. Well, now we're putting you in a position to make an impact for this team, and you're letting your quarterback down.
I actually noticed A.J. Brown more in a bad way, actually. Not even on that drop. Yeah, that drop was costly, but some of the long runs that Saquon had to the outside, just like poor effort on the run block, I thought. He looked like he just was kind of running through the motion. All right, yeah, I'll put an arm out or I'll just kind of get out in space. Like, I saw a run earlier in the year against Minnesota where A.J. Brown was downfield blocking like his job depended on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they asked about it in the post game, and he said, hey, that's just my job as a receiver. Yeah, I catch balls, but also when it's a run, I got to run block. Monday night, he just looked like he was just jogging out there. He really didn't care to get in the lanes to block. Dude, this is not the time to be walking through the motions, this lackluster stuff. Put in the effort, man. I noticed it more on that than the drop, even though the drop was so costly, could have won us the game. Yeah, but that's where I really noticed him.
He's Alex Berardis. I'm Josh Hennig, hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. We'll be talking with 10-year NFL quarterback, Super Bowl champion Tony Banks coming up on the other side. Don't forget about Hanging with Hennig being brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook, the only sportsbook app offering you Caesars Rewards. Bet on all the college and pro gridiron action this month, along with perks on every game. You can earn hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app, then use my promo code RADIO250BM and get your first bet matched as a bonus bet up to $250, whether you win or lose, only with the Caesars Sportsbook app. Open to new users in New Jersey who are 21 or older. Minimum odds minus 500, awarded as a non-withdrawable bonus bet that expires 14 days after receipt. Bonus bet about not returned for winning bets. Void where prohibited. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. We will get a deeper perspective from a former NFL quarterback, Tony Banks, coming up next with me, Josh Hennig, along with Alex Berardis, here on 97.3 ESPN, streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio.
It's Sixers basketball tomorrow night on 97.3 ESPN with the voice of the Sixers, Tom McGinnis, calling all the exciting play-by-play action.
Here's Maxey driving the ball, skids to a stop. Here's VJ Edgecombe for three, and it's in! Edgecombe a clutch three!
It's Sixers Hawks tomorrow night. Coverage begins at 6 p.m. It's Sixers basketball all season long on South Jersey's radio home for Philadelphia 76ers basketball. 97.3 ESPN.
Making your home look brand new is what Work of Art Construction can do for you. Ready to remodel your bathroom or have a kitchen makeover? Art Masker has 40 years of experience in construction and knows how to make your home look like a work of art. Want to install a new back deck or invest in a new front door? Just call Art Masker at 609-788-4271 to learn more. Visit Work of Art Construction on Instagram to see how Work of Art Construction can make your home look brand new. Beautify your home with Work of Art. Call him at 609-788-4271 and let them make your home truly a work of art.
Yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora is your destination for good food, great vibes, and every Eagles game with the sound on. Catch their special Birds Game Day food and drink specials every weekend. Plus, you can watch all the college football bowl games on their plethora of TVs, along with every Sixers and Flyers game for all you Philly sports fans. Don't miss out on yesterday's nightly food specials starting at 5 p.m. Monday through Thursday, along with reverse happy hour specials 9 p.m. to close each week. So call your friends and catch all the games at the Y. Yesterday's Creekside Tavern, Roosevelt Boulevard in Marmora. Follow them on Instagram and Facebook for more information about upcoming events and food specials.
You don't want to miss final year-end pricing. Now at RK Kia of Vineland. Brand new Kias, $199 a month. $199. Lease new 26 Kia K4 LXs from just $199 a month. $199 for 24 months. New front-wheel drive 26 Kia Sorento S, just $388 a month. $388. Final year-end pricing at RK Kia of Vineland. Need credit? We work with all types of credit situations. Plus, you get RK coverage, no charge. Ding repair, tire repair, wheel repair, windshield repair, and more. No charge. You don't want to miss final year-end pricing. Our lowest prices of the year. brand new Kias, $199 a month. During the Kia Season of New Traditions sales event. RK Kia of Vineland. RK does it right. MyRKKia.com. MyRKKia.com.
To qualified buyers, plus tax and title. For details, call 856-641-1111 or myrkkia.com.
Make Sage Jewelers your gift-giving headquarters. Sage Jewelers, the real jeweler, offers something for everyone this holiday season.
Check out Sage Jewelers' large selection of GIA-certified diamond engagement rings, designer jewelry brands, gold and silver, all up to 40% off.
Plus their watch collection, Citizen, Seiko, Tissot, Timex, Casio, and G-Shock. And Sage Jewelers can customize anything.
Sage Jewelers' jewelry collection offers something for everyone, for all ages.
Located on Tilton Road in Northfield. Trim Clinic.
Right now at the Home Depot, shop appliance savings and get up to 40% off select appliances like Samsung. Upgrade your kitchen with the Samsung Bespoke 4-door refrigerator. Now featuring the dual auto ice maker with Sphere Ice, only at the Home Depot. You'll have perfectly chilled drinks for every gathering. Shop appliance savings now at the Home Depot. Offer valid December 11th through January 1st. U.S. only. See store online for details.
Where can you get the best deal on a Ford or Chevy this holiday season? At Gentilini Motors. Take advantage of incredible savings during our year-end sales event. Save thousands off MSRP on a wide selection of vehicles with our biggest discounts of the year. And even get 0% financing up to 72 months on select models through the end of the year. It's our way of saying Merry Christmas and welcome to the Gentilini family. I'm Paul Gentilini, and I can assure you no dealer in South Jersey beats our deals. For over 70 years, we've built our reputation on community, integrity, and treating every customer like family. So take the short drive to Woodbine and discover the Gentilini difference. Give us a call at 609-861-0100. Visit us at GentiliniMotors.com, or I invite you to come check us out at our 18-acre complex next to the Woodbine Airport. We're just a short drive from anywhere.
Just a short drive from anywhere. Gentilini Family Motors.
Caesars Sportsbook app is the only sportsbook app with Caesars rewards. Bet on gridiron action and earn perks on every game like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code RADIO20X and place your first bet of $1 or more for a chance to double your winnings on your next 20 bets. Open to new users in New Jersey who are 21 or older. Max bet at $25 for boosted winnings. Max additional winnings $2,500 per bet. Profit boost tokens expire 14 days after receipt. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now back to Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig back here at Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN, being brought to you by my friends over at Work of Art Construction. Ready to remodel your bathroom or get a kitchen makeover? Or maybe you need your back deck remodeled. Work of Art Construction has got you covered. Give Art Masker and his 40 years of construction experience a call at 609-788-4271 to learn more about how Work of Art Construction can make your home look brand new. Tell them you heard about them on 97.3 ESPN, and with Josh Hennig on Hanging with Hennig, you can receive 10% off your next home project. 609-788-4271. Learn how Art Masker can help your home truly look like a work of art. 609-788-4271. Work of Art Construction, sponsors of Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Right now, we're going to get back in the quarterback conversation, get a quarterback's perspective on all the issues with the Eagles, quarterback Jalen Hurts, as well as someone's perspective on how on earth can Phillip Rivers, after 5 years, walk right back into the NFL. Tony Banks won a Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens, and of course he was in the NFL for 10 years and joins us right now on 97.3 ESPN. Tony, welcome back in. How you doing today?
I'm doing well, man. I'm starting to feel like a regular, man.
Well, we like having you on the show because I think one of the things is that you can explain to the audience a little bit better than anyone can as a former quarterback, and that is we are seeing Jalen Hurts right now have some issues. And people keep pointing to, Tony, the offensive play calling. They're calling to the offensive scheme. And this is Jalen's 10th different play caller. So what is your perspective on Jalen Hurts, who is less than a year removed from Super Bowl MVP to now suddenly basically having the worst game of his career on Monday Night Football?
Well, I think this is part of what happens when you have success. You know, your fandom, they continue to want it, think it's something that's going to happen every year. You're seeing it with Pat Mahomes this year. I'm seeing stuff. Is Pat Mahomes' era over? I mean, the dude is still talented, and so is Jalen. But to me, the play calling thing might be a little easy to target, right? Because Jalen's been in the league long enough. He's started enough games to where he should have a lot of input about what's going on with the play calling and what he feels like is good for him and good for the team. Because every offensive play caller I've been around, I started a lot of football games in the NFL, granted no Super Bowl MVP and stuff like that with Jalen, but they always ask you, what do you feel good about? What do you like call? What do you want me to call on the first 3rd and 4? What do you want me to call on the first 3rd and 8? What do you want the first shot play to be? So he should have a lot of input. But there's also that part of Jalen. There was a reason that Tua took over for him at Alabama. You know, Tua sees the field better. I think sometimes when you look at Jalen, his eyes look at the rush. And we've talked about this before on your show. When most quarterbacks take their eyes off the big picture of the defense and look at the rush because they're mobile, some mobile quarterbacks do that a little too often, the picture can get distorted once they pick their eyes back up. And Jalen, I think, is a talented guy, but he needs that running game. Saquon averaging, barely 4 yards a carry this year and not being that dynamic presence in the backfield with him, it's going to affect him. And I don't know what his relationship is with his receivers, but quarterbacks have to have the tough conversations with those guys. Receivers can be a little more prima donna, have a little attitude and be a little volatile. That's just kind of that position, and be a little selfish. Quarterbacks can't. But you need those guys. You need to be able to have those tough conversations. And I don't know if they're having them. I know Jalen is very stoic and he's well prepared and he puts in the time. But you also got to have those tough conversations. I remember having a tough conversation with Isaac Bruce, I think, in my 3rd year with the Rams. And, we came out of it fine. But I had to, be the alpha dog in that situation. And even though he had been in the league a little more than me and made some Pro Bowls, I had to be the alpha dog in that situation. And we came out of it fine. So I don't know if that's happening on his part right now.
Well, you mentioned about the two things you said there that really stood out to me, because you mentioned about the tough conversations. There's the video that came out from Hard Knocks where him and Devonta Smith are talking after the one incompletion in the Bears game, and Devonta's saying to him, hey, I thought we were the game plan called for me to go for a slant, and then Jalen's like, well, I thought you were going to stick. And then Devonta's like, no, I was going off the game plan. And then Jalen says, that's my fault, and then he drops an F-bomb. And then he goes back to the receivers a little bit later on the sideline and says, hey, that play is on me. I got to do better. Keep doing what you're doing. So, is that an example of the communication that you're talking about, or are you talking about more so during the week of practice?
I think it has to happen both. I think, on game day, you're going to be really political, right? You're not going to do too much because the cameras are on you. But in practice, you got to sometimes be Dan Marino and grab a dude by the face mask. The success of the team depends on all those guys being on the same page. This ain't basketball where somebody can just bail you out. You need all those guys. You need the line to do their part. You need the receivers to do their part. But sometimes in this RPO age, some of it's a little too creative. It comes back to some of the college type plays being implemented into pro offenses, where pro offenses used to be super precise. The communication had to be precise. There was no ad-libbing. Now there's a little more ad-libbing in the RPO game, so those things have to be ironed out in practice. They can't be trying to solve a problem on game day. Like all the yelling by the coaches and all the bickering and back and forth should happen during the week. On game day, there shouldn't be much of that. So, of course, Jalen is going to bite the bullet. That's what quarterbacks have to do. That's part of that position. But you also need other guys to bite the bullet too. You need A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith to bite the bullet sometimes when they're wrong. It can't always just be the quarterback.
Tony, we were just talking about it before you came on. The design quarterback run has been something that has been huge for the success of this team. This year, it just has not been there. And you were just saying Jalen has a lot of input on what the actual play calling is. To me, it would be a huge problem if Jalen's going up to Patullo and Sirianni and saying, hey, let's not run that. I really don't want to run that. That'd be a huge problem to me because it's something that can make this team better. And yet Jalen says he'll do anything for this team. Like, is that really a problem if Jalen's just going to the offensive coordinator saying, do not draw these plays up?
I think that has to be part of it, right? As a play caller and a coach, you're not going to call things your quarterback doesn't want to make successful, doesn't feel like it's going to help him have a long career. You see it now with Lamar Jackson fighting through a little injury early in the season. He's less of a dynamic player when he's not running the football. It's just kind of what it is, right? I think Lamar has really improved as a passer, maybe more so than Jalen has in his career, even though he doesn't have a Super Bowl. But Jalen needs to understand that that's part of his game too, but it also can affect his longevity. Like I remember when I came into the league, I was being compared to Randall Cunningham. It wasn't a fair comparison. I was nothing like Randall, but I looked like him at times, right? I wore number 12. I was tall and lanky, and I liked to run around my first couple of years. But I took a shot in my third year from, what's his name, Robert Griffith, who was a safety for the Minnesota Vikings, and he just nailed me right on the sideline, and it changed the way I played. Like, I stopped running around. I was like, man, I thought I could get this dude. This is a little safety. He looked little to me. But he absolutely annihilated. And it ended up being my worst year statistically in my career because it just changed the way I played. And I don't know if maybe Jalen in the past has taken a couple shots and he's like, man, this is not longevity. And that can affect the way a quarterback plays for sure.
We're talking with Tony Banks, 10-year NFL quarterback, Super Bowl champion, the Baltimore Ravens, here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Of course, we are streaming live, as always, on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studios. Tony, you mentioned earlier as well about the idea that, the quarterback has to have the ability to process information. I want to expand on that a little bit because it feels like at times, and again, this is my observation, I might not even be reading it properly, but it feels like to me that the longer Hurts holds the ball, the worse the play gets. Whereas when he's making quick decisions early in the play, when it's just like, a 3-step drop or like when that back foot hits, it's boom out of his hand. It feels like that's when he is functioning at his best. I remember when he was at Oklahoma with Lincoln Riley, with Shane Steichen in 2022, and then in the Super Bowl last year, where it feels like the longer he holds the ball, it's like that's when these plays start going sideways. Is that a fair analysis?
I think that's a fair analysis with any quarterback. I mean, if a play caller is drawing up things where your primary is getting open most of the time, most quarterbacks are going to be successful. I saw, Daniel Jones, when his best year with the Giants, he was a one-read and run guy, and he's no Jalen Hurts when it comes to pulling the ball down, but he can gobble up some yards with his feet. And I was very critical, thinking that he wasn't going to be able to do that in the playoffs. They're going to make you get to your second and third option. And the best quarterbacks can do that without bailing too early. So when I say Jalen looks at the rush, I think sometimes when his primary is not open, it's still in his DNA that, okay, my legs are going to bail me out. But then maybe in the back of his mind, he's like, well, the less I run, the longer I play. I remember, the game has changed, but I remember feeling like a young quarterback. Then when I ran, I was being criticized. I didn't know what I was doing. So I know Jalen takes preparation really, really serious, more serious than I did in my entire career. And I give him kudos for that. But there can also be that kind of handicap that's telling you, okay, they think I can't do this, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to get through progression. I'm going to stay in the pocket. They think all I can do is get out of the pocket. I'm going to stay in the pocket. So it's just kind of dichotomy when playing this position, especially when you're athletic. Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, they never had these problems. They weren't able to gobble up yards with their feet, so they had to stay in the pocket. They had to get through progressions, and that's why they're 3 of the top quarterbacks ever played a game.
To kind of go off Josh's question, a problem that Hurts has had since he's come into the league was just seems like he's missing guys or he's late on a read or something like that. Now that he's this deep into his NFL career, is that something he can honestly work on and improve upon, or is that just what he's got now is just what he's got and that's just who he is?
I'm a firm believer that anything you do and you do it more and you do it right and you rep it the right way, you can improve, you can learn, you can get better. So I think all quarterbacks, no matter what the skill set is, the more they play, to me, the better they get. And the criticism sometimes is the hardest part. I talked to some of my friends that are coaching in the league now and that played in the league and even played quarterback, and they're like, man, it's always been a high pressure position, but now, you get death threats when you don't play well or you don't cover the spread, that's a big difference, man. I don't think people talk about that enough, and I'm not a huge Shedeur Sanders fan as far as talent, but I think the best thing he brings to the table is that I don't think he's going to be as affected. And I don't mean to throw him in as I'm just talking kind of scenarios, but I think the best thing he has is not his arm talent or mobility or even his IQ, but his ability to not let the outside noise bother him because he's dealt with so much of it. I remember my first time getting booed. I was like, what the hell? I didn't know how to react to it. I thought these is my fans. These is my home fans. They booing me. So it can be detrimental to a quarterback's development. And I don't know if maybe Jalen's, squeezing the ball a little harder or not really knowing it. It only takes small things to be less accurate when it comes to delivering the football or when your eyes aren't in the right place. So, there's a lot of things that it could be going on with Jalen, and I do think he's built to get over it. But, it's going to be interesting how he responds after this last game.
Tony, before we let you go, I would be remiss if I didn't bring you on to ask you about Phillip Rivers after 5 years coming out of retirement. It's been confirmed now he is going to start in Seattle. And I know part of it is because of the fact that, Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson and Riley Leonard and Brett Rippon are all injured for the Colts. You got 4 quarterbacks who are all banged up and unavailable. I know it's part of the reason why he's going to play, but what, in your perspective, is the reason why he can play? Because people keep bringing up, like, is he in the same shape? Is he too old? Da-da-da-da. But how much of it with him playing is the fact of he has the mental ability to do it versus the physical ability?
Well, that's the thing, right? And even if Riley Leonard was healthy, I would probably, if I'm management, I'd probably feel more comfortable with Phillip Rivers. And it's not about physical talent. It's about, not getting penalties, getting in and out of the huddle, play calling being correct, communicating to all your guys. If you got a system where you're audible, that he's done that thousands of times and with the clock ticking down. So I think mentally he's definitely going to be able to do it. I think right now, if somebody was to call me, I could do it for one game. Maybe not 2, but I could do it for one game, So I think Phillip Rivers feels that way too. And his game was never built on velocity when it comes to throwing the ball. Right. He's for a big guy, he's throwing one of the softest balls maybe I've ever seen in the NFL. And he's talked about it some with his son being an up-and-coming quarterback now, that he wouldn't coach any quarterback to throw the ball like him. But it does mean that it's always catchable. It's never too hard. There's some throws he's never been able to make. He's never really thrown the ball outside the numbers. And again, a guy like Phillip Rivers knows his limitations. He's not going to be trying to run around. He's not going to be trying to throw sideline routes, consistently to get the ball outside the numbers. He's going to stay within the hashes. He's going to get his, kind of late Tom Brady on and try to move the chains and keep the ball moving. And hopefully Jonathan Taylor can, rip off some runs. That always helps any quarterback, whether young or old.
He's Tony Banks, of course, 10-year NFL quarterback, Super Bowl champion with the Baltimore Ravens. Great insights on the quarterback position. He joined us right here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Tony, really appreciate you making the time today, and Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Yeah, happy holidays to you guys.
Josh Hennig along with Alex Berardis here on 97.3 ESPN. Hang with Hennig, as always, being brought to you by yesterday's Creekside Tavern on Roosevelt Boulevard in Marmora, where we will be at next Saturday. Yes, next Saturday is where we will be for the Eagles watch party. We will be doing the Eagles pregame show leading up on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Get you ready for the Eagles versus the Washington Commanders. And, of course, yesterday's is your go-to destination for every Eagles game because the sound is on for every Eagles game. Plus, don't forget about all the big college football games on the TVs every weekend. It's bowl season, so make sure you call all your friends and catch all the games, football, Flyers, Sixers, and more. Catch all the games at the Y. Yesterday's Creekside Tavern on Roosevelt Boulevard in Marmora. Coming up on the other side, we'll give our predictions for the Eagles game tomorrow, which you can hear right here on 97.3 ESPN+. Tonight is the final match for John Cena. And I'm going to tell you why John Cena is the symbol of what is right in the world versus all of the chaos that is wrong in the world with sports. That's next. Josh Hennig, Alex Berardis, hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN.
It's Philadelphia Flyers hockey tonight on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app. Listen as Tim Saunders and Todd Fedork bring you all the exciting play-by-play action.
To the cut, he scores! And Matvey Mitkov does it again.
It's Flyers Hurricane tonight. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. on South Jersey's radio home for Philadelphia Flyers hockey, 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
Get ready to level up your game day at Tropicana Atlantic City. Introducing Gridiron Pit, powered by Caesars Sportsbook, a high-energy fan zone where blackjack meets big screens, bold bites, and big wins. Play your hand, catch every snap, indulge in tailgate-inspired food and drinks, and spin the big wheel of prizes. Every Saturday and Sunday throughout football season, Gridiron Pit, where the thrill of the game meets the rush of the table. Located near the cashier cage, learn more at Caesars.com. Must be 21 or older. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Tired of cooking and planning all of your meals each and every day? You need Prevail Nutrition to simplify your life. For almost a decade, Prevail Nutrition is a local meal prep company located in South Jersey that allows customers to design their own meal plan. Or you can choose from a wide variety of chef-designed meals on their weekly changing Prevail Selects menu. You can order online for pickup or get free delivery on orders of over $50. Prevail Nutrition delivers to Atlantic and Cumberland counties along with Ocean City. Or you can pick up your meals every Monday and Friday. Learn more about how Prevail Nutrition can simplify your life. Visit their website at prevailnutrition.club. Check out Prevail Nutrition on Facebook and Instagram. Prevail Nutrition is my go-to choice for prepared meals and foods. Order online, like me, at prevailnutrition.club.
Hi, this is Paul. Welcome to Circle Hyundai. In our community, every child deserves to be supported, safe, and loved. Here at Circle Hyundai, giving back is part of who we are. This December, Circle Hyundai will be donating a portion of the proceeds to We Are Loved, located here in Shrewsbury.
Thank you so much, Paul and Circle Hyundai, for bringing light to the journey of children in foster care.
Don't forget about 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe Calligraphy all-wheel drive. And don't forget about the local foster children.
Merry Christmas from Circle Hyundai.
Sun Valley Pools of Vineland wants to welcome you to Fan Zone. They're Vineland, New Jersey's go-to spot for licensed NFL, NHL, NBA, and MLB products. They've got you covered if you collect licensed sports products or if you're a fan who needs some gear. Looking for the perfect piece for your fan cave? They have everything you'll need to make sure your fan cave is decked out in your favorite gear this football season. They're proud sponsors of the Philadelphia Eagles Radio Network. They're located at 29 West Sherman Avenue in Vineland. Visit them at sunvalleypoolsfanzone.com.
Comcast Business is celebrating the holidays by giving your business the $1,000 holiday bonus when you switch to a gig speed internet package. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 12, a new laptop for the office holiday hero. Or possibility number 108, smart speakers to deck those hallways. Or possibility number 192, new equipment for the new year. Or possibility number 555, Bluetooth holiday lights for office decor. Switch to Comcast Business, designed for 100% reliability with business internet and wireless connect, plus advanced cybersecurity, and now get the $1,000 holiday bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 12/14/25. New customers only with 2-year agreement. Requires qualifying gig package. Other restrictions apply.
The champs are back, and it's game time at the family-owned Piccadilly Inn. Skip the lame chains. Treat your friends to their world-famous wings for eat-in or carry-out, and 6-packs to go. Get your chicken wing fix on Route 206 in Shamong. Visit piccadilly.com.
Looking to lower your energy bills and boost home comfort? South Jersey Gas has you covered with a no-cost in-home, whole-home energy assessment. Our energy expert will review your home's energy efficiency and provide a personalized report of energy-saving improvements. Plus, you may also receive energy-efficient upgrades like faucet aerators, smart power strips, and LED light bulbs at no cost to you. Don't wait to save money and energy. Schedule your whole home energy assessment today at sjgsaveenergy.com or call 201-690-7897 today.
You don't want to miss final year-end pricing. Now at RK Kia of Vineland. Brand new Kias, $199 a month. $199. Lease new 26 Kia K4 LXs from just $199 a month. $199 for 24 months. New front-wheel drive 26 Kia Sorento S, just $388 a month. $388. Final year-end pricing at RK Kia of Vineland. Need credit? We work with all types of credit situations. Plus, you get RK coverage, no charge. Ding repair, tire repair, wheel repair, windshield repair, and more. No charge. You don't want to miss final year-end pricing. Our lowest prices of the year. Brand new Kias, $199 a month. During the Kia Season of New Traditions sales event. RK Kia of Vineland. RK does it right. MyRKKia.com. MyRKKia.com.
To qualified buyers, plus tax and title. For details, call 856-641-1111 or myrkkia.com.
Caesars Sportsbook app is the only sportsbook app with Caesars rewards. Bet on gridiron action and earn perks on every game like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code RADIO20X and place your first bet of $1 or more for a chance to double your winnings on your next 20 bets. Open to new users in New Jersey who are 21 or older. Max bet of $25 for boosted winnings. Max additional winnings, $2,500 per bet. Profit boost tokens expire 14 days after receipt. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now back to Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
Bull is right. You are an ox and a moron.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
Hello? Get back in the room.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig along with Alex Berardis back here on 97.3 ESPN, finishing up the show. I mentioned John Cena for the break. John Cena's, for those who don't know, the icon, John Cena, is having his final WWE match tonight, and that's why Alex is wearing his John Cena shirt in the studio. I'm wearing my Rock shirt in the studio. But I think John Cena's final match actually has a bigger sports story relevance, and that is this. John Cena, the entire message of his career, hard work, loyalty, respect, hustle, the grind, all the positives that John Cena represents is what the rest of the world is missing right now. Because this whole Shimon Moore story in Michigan makes me so angry. Because a person like Shimon Moore, who apparently he wasn't just having an affair, he wasn't just going to a woman's house threatening to kill himself or her after she, basically he claims she ruined his life, even though he chose to sleep with. Anyway, even though he's the one at halftime messaging OnlyFans models, even though he's the one blowing up at players and coaches in the locker room, at practices, that guy's allowed to have a job. And yet we're all supposed to just be like, it's a one-time incident? Nobody one time does these things. And the world is full of more people like Sharon Moore than they are John Cena. John Cena is the kind of guy that you can look up to, you can respect the type of way he's handled his business, his life, and in a world full of Sharon Moores, let's take a moment to celebrate that there is going to never be a John Cena again. There is not enough quality human beings in the world who are being given opportunities or being given a platform. John Cena is the all-time most Make-A-Wish award celebrity. No one has granted more Make-A-Wishes than anyone in the Foundation's history. That tells you the quality of human being that is walking away from one of the biggest platforms in sports entertainment. And yet, all my entire week has been is Sharon Moore and his imbecilic, disgusting, and basically enabled behavior that finally came to a head when he shows up at his mistress's house with a knife. So, yes, Paul in Millville, I am watching John Cena because I realize that we are losing something good in the world tonight.
Is he the greatest of all time?
Yes.
Okay, good. I think not even because for...
Is he my favorite all time? No. But is he the greatest of all time? Yes.
I'm in the same boat. And for me, it's not even the whole never seen 17. That's one in itself. But there's never been a guy, you could say Hogan, but like every person you ask has an opinion about John Cena.
Sure.
Any arena he walked into for 23 years, let's go Cena. Cena sucks.
Right.
Every single person in that arena had one or the other to say. Nobody in the history of wrestling has ever had that. Whether they're loving him or hating him, he got both. America, all 50 states, Japan, Europe, anywhere he went, it was the same reaction.
But it's also because of the character that he was.
Yeah, but wrestling, yeah, it's about guys beating each other up, blah, blah, blah. The other part of it is how it makes you feel in storytelling.
Right.
And no one could do that better than John Cena.
Absolutely. So, yeah, Saturday night main event tonight. John Cena's final match is tonight. Before we get out of here, I want to give my prediction for the Eagles game tomorrow. Of course, Billy Schweim in the locker room live from Lascala's and Beach House of Brigantine for the Eagles pregame show. Then Merrill Reese, Mike Quick calling all the action here at home for Eagles football in South Jersey, 97.3 ESPN. I predicted the Eagles would lose last week. I am going to think they're going to get back on the winning track this week. I think the Raiders are just so bad that the Eagles, this is a get-right game. This is like a college football team that had a tough loss, and then they're playing like, I don't know, like Alabama A&M the next week. They're playing a team that they should beat. This is a get-right game for Philadelphia. I have the Eagles winning 20-7.
Ooh, I'm 20-3. Mainly for the same things you said. Raiders are just that bad. The Eagles should just... It's not going to look great, but it's still going to be a win.
No. He's Alex Berardis. Alex, thank you for coming in today. Always enjoy having you on the show. Thanks to Andy McNamara, as well as Tony Banks and Frank Klose for joining the show. And thanks to all of you for listening on 97.3 ESPN FM and watching on YouTube and X at Josh Hennig. Have a great weekend, everybody.
My name is Eliza Grace Schwein. I'm Annie. I'm Kelly Klemick. Come to the Scholars Beach House this Sunday.
Join me, Billy Schwein, former Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Dave Klemick, and Mr. Negadelphia PJ Corda. We'll get the keys to the game with Fox 29 News sports anchor Scott Grayson, brought to you by Blitz's Market of Ocean City. Hour 2, my fantasy football guru Brian Hartley, brought to you by Charlie's Bar. We'll be giving away a Kelly Green Eagles Cooper DeJean jersey, courtesy of Pro Image Sports.
Locker Room with Billy Schwein, live from the Scholars Beach House, Sunday morning from 10 a.m. to noon on 97.3 ESPN.